Saturday night in a house that caught fire in the 8900 block of 84th Avenue. The victim's husband was arrested Sunday after officers discovered him with blood on his clothes and burns on his legs during a traffic stop in Michigan. Challenger Lori Lightfoot is leveling charges at Mayor Emanuel for not acting more quickly to stop sexual abuse incidents at Chicago public schools. AM 560's David Stewart has more.
Lori Lightfoot said that when Mayor Emanuel learned about the incidents, he did what he usually does in a crisis, attempt to avoid it.
And this time, the weight is fallen on those least able to bear it, our young, innocent children.
Emanuel apologized for the series of incidents stretching back years that have been outlined in a Chicago Tribune investigative series.
All adults offer an apology. I offer my apology, but the question is, what are we going to do now besides words? What are the deeds to fix this up?
He promised a plan to ensure a safe school environment. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
This morning, a second Wheaton football player apparently taking a plea deal to end the hazing charges against him. Kyler Kriegel pleaded guilty yesterday to misdemeanor battery. He will not serve any jail time. A fire that forced a woman to leap to her death on Chicago's north side is now being investigated as an arson. Blaze broke out yesterday morning in an apartment building near Touhy and Clark. Authorities say Maria Silva died after she jumped from the top story of a building before firefighters could reach her. Investigators have identified a person of interest, but no arrests have been made. A suburban Highland Park man is accused of trying to lure a 12-year-old girl from a school bus stop in Niles last fall. Arthur Zingman was charged with attempted kidnapping last month. In connection with the incident, bond has now been set at $150,000, and he remains behind bars in the Cook County Jail. 4 Democrat members of Congress from the Chicago area highly critical of the Bears for backing the NFL's new national anthem policy. The policy requires players to stand during the national anthem if they are on the field. U.S. Representatives Robin Kelly, Jan Schakowsky, Bobby Rush, and Danny Davis sent a letter to the Bears last week saying they're disappointed that the franchise, they say, voted to silence players they employ. A big change of heart for the former chairman of Tronc, calling off the deal to sell his entire stake in that media company. Michael Farrow struck a deal in April to sell his 25% stake in Tronc for just over $208 million to McCormick Media. In filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Farrow said he terminated the purchase agreement because of a breach of obligations by the buyer. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is sidestepping the question of whether President Trump should grant clemency to former Governor Rod Blagojevich. Rauner says he has nothing to add to the debate over the commutation of Blagojevich's 14-year sentence for corruption. An elderly Illinois woman is planning to fight a request from the city where she lives to remove and impeach President Trump now sign from her yard. The code compliance officer is asking Myra Becker to take down that sign, saying it was too big. If the sign isn't removed, Becker faces a $50 fine. The 94-year-old says she'll look into appealing any notices she gets from the city. If you watch this sort of thing, the coach that led Loyola to its first Final Four appearance since 1963 is putting his Wilmette home on the market. Porter Moser and his wife listed the 6-bedroom house yesterday. Zach Eflin pitched 1-run ball into the 8th inning. Phillies cruise past the Cubs 6-1 at Wrigley Field. Jose Abreu's 2-run home run highlighted a 4-run first inning as the White Sox topped the Twins 6-3, earning a split of their doubleheader at Target Field. They lost the opener 4-2. Bears opened mandatory minicamp yesterday with all hands on deck. Fire hit the pitch. They'll take on the Crew in a U.S. Open Cup match tonight. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. And during our Memorial Day sale, go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and you'll get up to $150 towards your mattress order. That's HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we were on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is coming, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Hey, Spring Turn, what are you up to?
Hey, Paul, showing you the unrivaled iPhone 10, and you know what I can do with it?
No, what?
I can unlock it with my face. They call it Face ID. Check it out.
Wow, do you have to make that face when you unlock it?
No, but it's way more fun this way.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
Get the unrivaled iPhone 10 now for just $20 a month. That's 50% off from Sprint. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com/iPhone, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 today.
Requires 18-month leases for well-qualified customers. Early termination results in remaining balance due. Excludes tax credit applied within 2 bills. iPhone 10 64GB, $20 a month after $21.67 a month credit. Coverage and offer not everywhere, subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Restrictions apply.
5:11. Let's get an update on what's happening on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. In Romeoville, Romeo Road is closed right now. Macon and Belmont Drive, there's a multi-vehicle crash shutting down that intersection. Des Plaines, Rand Road, remains closed at Dempster. Police activity. Southside, firefighters have extinguished blaze near 34th and Ashland. Crews remain at the scene. Expressways and tollways are looking pretty good right now. Report of a crash on the westbound Reagan tollway near 47. Looking to confirm that maybe several lanes blocked in that area. Will be concert traffic tonight around United Center and Northerly Island. Traffic service of LifeLock. LifeLock Identity Theft Protection has added Norton Security to help protect you against cyber criminals. Protection for your identity and devices. Go to LifeLock.com. Enter promo code RISK for an extra 10% off the low starting price, $7.99 a month. Terms apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, a blend of sun and clouds, high 79. Partly cloudy night, low 64. Partly sunny tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, high again 79. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
51 at O'Hare, 45 along the lakefront, 52 at Midway, 51 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, California primary, their so-called jungle primary yesterday, right? It's all candidates on the ballot. The party affiliation is irrelevant. The top two finishers go on because you could have two Republicans, you could have two Democrats. And you would think in a state where Dem registration outpaces Republican registration by like 4-1, you would have perhaps two Democrat candidates for governor. But not so fast. The former mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio Villagrosa, never took off. And so what you have is the former Mr. Kimberly Guilfoyle, Gavin Newsom.
Oh, that's right.
Moonbeam's lieutenant governor, former mayor of San Francisco, against a former perennial candidate from Illinois, just 10 years removed, John Cox.
Yeah, he now lives with his beautiful wife, Sarah, in San Diego, and he decided to run. He's always been, I met him, when he was running for U.S. Senate. Remember that one?
In 2002, he ran for
Yes.
U.S. Senate in the primary here.
Mm-hmm.
Lost that in that primary. I think it was a three-way primary to Jim Durkin, who then, of course, summarily went on and got crushed by Dick Durbin.
Exactly.
Before that, he ran for Congress in the
Right.
10th District. When
And then-
John Porter retired, another crowded primary to replace John Porter that Mark Kirk won.
And then he ran for county assessor against
Recorder of Deeds.
Oh, Recorder of Deeds.
Against
I'm sorry.
Gene Moore.
And then he promised that if he won that race, he would shut down that department.
Right.
That was his sole mission.
So that was running for Cook County wide. There hasn't been a Republican elected Cook County wide in Illinois since Jack O'Malley 25 years ago.
You're digging deep there.
Well, so John Cox, he knows what it's like to run in the landscape like California because he's running Cook County. And then in 2008, he ran sort of a bizarre candidacy, bizarre race for president of the United States in the Republican primary.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even hear about that.
Nobody did, because it's just like it was just very, very strange.
Was he trying to get his name out there on a national level so people in California might know who he is?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the thinking behind it was. But I mentioned this yesterday. There was a great Weekly Standard piece by Matt Labash, who actually went to talk to John Cox when he was running for president, and he was trying to get into the GOP debate. And he did not get into the GOP debate. And so they went to Cox's hotel room, wait for it, and they watched the debate on television, and then John Cox just answered for Matt Labash in the hotel room the questions that were being asked of the candidates on TV, and that was his way of participating in the debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I disclose what I know now about John Cox?
Please.
No, I dated John Cox's brother-in-law
Of course.
for 3 years.
Was he a
for 3
competitive
years.
eater?
No, he was not the competitive eater.
Was he the guy on that played the lieutenant on Miami Vice? No. I can't keep track
so
of these.
Sarah Hall's little brother is Jamie Hall, and I dated him.
Oh, Jamie Hall.
You know Jamie Hall.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, it's Jamie. The way you say these, like, oh, of course,
Well, no,
Jamie
you-
Hall.
Well, I thought we all went out one time.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
But John used to live on, he had a beautiful penthouse
Oh,
on Michigan Avenue.
well, sure, of
we'd
course.
go
High
to.
society.
Yes, we're high society. It was nice.
How'd
I had a little girl.
what happened to you guys?
Oh my
How did you guys? I mean, how'd you grow apart?
Maybe it was just not meant to be.
Was that
That's conversation.
Was the
yeah.
family too political for you?
No.
Is that it? Did he want you to move to California
And-
to be part of the first family?
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
okay.
Yeah. But it is correct. I mean, good for him. I mean, that just shows that persistence through the decades sometimes might pay off.
It's a wild story to think
It's
about
so
that.
wild.
And it says something about California. It also says something about Illinois and where Illinois is going, what's happening in California. Because you have 10 years removed from running for all these offices here. He goes out to California.
To another corrupt state.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it tells you there's no Republican Party in California.
Right, but we should stand behind him because he is a conservative Republican and he's trying to change the way things are done in California.
There's no question about it.
We put a businessman in the White House. Let's put a businessman in the governor's mansion, huh? Yes.
Maybe you could work with him.
Well, there's so many people to thank, and of course, this is only the first step to turning around this state and taking back California for all Californians.
Woohoo!
I think I heard Sarah wooing.
I think that was Jamie. I'm not sure.
Sarah has a twin sister too. What was her name? Susan. Anywho.
Oh,
right.
sure, Susan. Yeah, of course, the Halls.
You met her too, right?
No,
At that
I didn't.
party
Never
that
met her.
I hypothetically put you in.
Cox did say something though that is relevant to Illinois, in addition to California, obviously.
One party in Sacramento, one party rule in Sacramento is bad enough, but one party elections is just plain un-American.
And I'll tell you what's happened in California is you had one-party elections, so you have a one-party state, and again, functionally no Republican Party. And what's happening in Illinois is because, in part, we've conceded Chicago for so many years to be one-party elections. We're having a one-party state. We're getting a one-party state, and the Republican Party, of course, complicit and corrupt, at least, and compromised. At least in California, even though the distribution of congressmen is 39 to 14, Democrats, Republican. But a lot of those 14 are actual conservatives. So they do have some standard bearers there. I mean, think Devin Nunes, think Darrell Issa, Dana Rohrabacher. So there are some. But it's just instructive when you seed elections, when you don't build infrastructure, when you don't recruit talent, you can have, I mean, I don't mean to denigrate John Cox, but it's remarkable. The biggest state in the nation, and you have just a kind of a perennial candidate also ran from Illinois, can just go out there and 10 years later, he can be the Republican nominee for governor.
Hey, it's all about who's number 2 in California. I mean, I was surprised. He was up in the polls when I checked in yesterday, and he had the backing of President Trump. President Trump even tweeted yesterday, go out and vote for John Cox.
And you appreciate it. Maybe Cox can put a marker down for Republicans there. He's certainly not trying to two-step being a conservative or being a Trump defender.
First message, and that is it wasn't Donald Trump who made California the highest tax state in the country. It was Gavin Newsom and the Democrats. It wasn't President Trump who gave us a $52 billion gas tax increase without any reform of Caltrans, one of the most wasteful and inefficient agencies in the country. It wasn't Donald Trump who gave us that gas tax. It was Gavin Newsom, and we're going to repeal that tax in November.
And his first act, were he to be elected governor, were he to shock the Western Hemisphere and be elected?
And it wasn't Donald Trump that passed the sanctuary state. Gavin, you did that. You're the one that's protecting MS-13. You're the one that's making our communities less safe. The first role of government is to protect the people, and the first act I make is to get rid of this sanctuary state law.
I have to check in with all my relatives in California and my friends to make sure that they're going to be supporting him.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's bringing it. He's bringing the fight. So you got to respect that, and you appreciate it, given how steep the incline is that he's trying to climb. But I tell you, it's so instructive for Illinois, especially because of John Cox's history here. When you fail to hold politicians accountable, And that's what both parties in the state have done. Nobody in my lifetime has held politicians in their party accountable. And what happens is one of the parties can disappear as the culture shifts, as the demographics shift. And that's what happened in California, and that's what's happening in Illinois.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, the season's over. How did we do? Because remember, it's okay to be number 2 in California.
Not in the studio.
Well, you have to wait for it. Forecast for today, warmer with some sun and clouds, a high of 79 degrees. Tonight, a low of 64. And for Thursday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, a high of 79 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Yes, good morning,
Hello,
Amy.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good morning, Dan. A couple of trouble spots in Romeoville. Romeo Road is blocked off between Macon and Belmont Drive in Romeoville. A multi-vehicle crash, including a rollover vehicle. And then in Des Plaines, Rand Road is blocked both ways at Dempster. There's police activity in that area that's just west of the tri-state. Edens, Kennedy, Eisenhower still okay. And about Stevenson, there's a couple slow pockets. Lamont Road to Cass and Pulaski to Kedzie, 36 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 16 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 17 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. The other expressways and tollways look good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to do what I did and call Team Hochberg. Ted, Army veteran who served multiple tours in Iraq. Upon returning home, Ted struggled with PTSD and reintegrating into civilian life. Ted lived in multiple veteran homes before being introduced to Rags of Honor, which is a Chicago-based silk screening company who hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. Ted was a machine operator, got promoted to director of digital marketing, and recently left Rags of Honors after securing a higher-paying job. Now, help employ homeless veterans like Ted. Go to ragsofhonor.us. That's ragsofhonor.us and purchase their silk screen clothing. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second item purchased. Now, if you're a veteran securing a VA loan, you should call Team Hochberg, a lender who respects your service and proudly supports veterans. Call 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358, NMLS 19186.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600. or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, MUELLER, CPA.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know, processing loss is hard for me because we don't take L's at Blaine. That was our joke all year. And our 7th and 8th grade team, which had Peyton and Eli on, we won the first game, lost the second game 25-23, and then in the third game we just shot ourselves and lost 15-10.
You soiled yourselves.
That's what I meant to say. Soiled. It was awful. But here's the...
This program is on the air. I just wanted you to know.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So here you go. Since you're the franchise owner. It's.
You think I accept a second place trophy?
But wait. There's more. Hold on.
Get that junk out of here.
Hold on. Big news. Big exciting news.
All right. She's left the studio. She's coming back into the studio. Oh,
My 5th and 6th grade boys team won. We beat Disney in 2 games. And look at that. Or franchise owner.
Is this taxpayer? These trophies taxpayer funded?
Isn't that nice?
They're very nice. That's why I'm thinking.
I was so proud of our boys, but it was just hard because then after the 5th and 6th grade game, then Peyton and Eli, their team lost, and we were undefeated. Both teams were undefeated during the regular season, and then that happened. But you know what it's all about? Serves. We missed 21 serves at the 7th and 8th grade team.
Sounds like a failure to coaching.
Oh, because it is always all about the coaching.
So, did you do like a little tour of this to Lakeview Gin Mills? Like
it is, it is going to the Cubs game tomorrow. And then on Friday it's going to Wicker Park, and then on Saturday it's going to the pitch. Yeah, we're gonna,
But then there's some kind of taxpayer funded trophy case for the taxpayer funded trophies at Blaine. They don't keep trophies at the school.
No. Well, we keep them at the school, but we keep them on top of a bookcase. We don't have a.
You don't
special trophy.
You can't
case.
profile trophies anymore because that could make some people feel bad who aren't on the team, who didn't participate in the victory.
Who didn't make the team. But yeah, not everybody played. But I said you all did something throughout the season to get us to the championship game, which is true.
Well, convey to the 7th and 8th grade team that they're a big disappointment to me.
Stop it. But for me personally, because I did something that men have been doing since the beginning of sports, and that's being able to coach your sons. Women don't coach their sons in anything, really. So this is the first time that I was able to do something that a man could do.
And it was a disaster.
No, it wasn't. Shut up. Don't make me feel bad. We had an undefeated season, and now they're all going to go on and play in high school. And Eli has next year. So next year, mark my words, we are winning this at the 7th and 8th grade level. All right.
All right. Very good.
We've already got plans. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
In less important news than CPS, it turns out kids are being abused all over the place and nobody knows what's going on.
And then later, does Dan Proft have a Kate Spade bag? We'll examine that. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Outside this morning, chilly. We'll have temperatures in the 40s, especially along the lakefront, only in the low 50s in the western suburbs this morning. 5:31, the race is on in 8 states after Tuesday's primaries. Democrats are hoping to make gains in November in a bid to regain control of the House and Senate. While the numbers may not look right now to be going their way, the party in power, Republicans, can lose congressional seats in a president's first term. 40 GOP congressmen, you may recall, are not seeing re-election. Ground zero for Democrats, California, where former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa threw in the towel in the race for California governor yesterday and is endorsing his opponent, Democrat Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom.
Gavin, thank you for caring enough about this state to put your hat in the ring, to run for governor of this state. We all acknowledge that you're the victor tonight, and we thank you.
Villaraigosa also took time to thank Republican businessman John Cox for caring enough about the state to run for office. The Republican Cox now projected to be on the ballot for California's governor's race against Newsom.
Mr. Newsom, you've had 8 years, and your party has made a colossal mess of this once golden state.
Both candidates are vying to replace Jerry Brown as governor. In New Jersey, Democrat Senator Bob Menendez, coming off a corruption trial, will face former drug maker CEO Bob Huggin. In Alabama, Republican Governor Kay Ivey easily beat the competition to secure the party's nomination for the November election. In other news, Hawaii officials say a river of lava is destroying hundreds of homes on the Big Island. Hawaii County spokesperson saying it may have been the most destructive day yesterday since Kilauea began erupting over a month ago. The opioid overdose drug naloxone is being recalled by its maker. The FDA says the recall comes after it was discovered there is a potential for loose particulate matter to be found on the syringe. Mexico slapping tariffs on billions of dollars worth of American goods in retaliation against the president's tariffs on steel and aluminum. American pork producers, in particular, will be hurt by the tariffs. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are asking for dismissal of a lawsuit by an ex-campaign worker who alleges her reporting of sexual harassment cost her a promotion in the speaker's political organization. A Hickory Hills man is accused of killing his wife in their southwest suburban home. Czeslaw Sipior is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Maria Sipior. Mayor Emanuel apologizing following criticism he did not do enough to help CPS students who were sexually abused by school employees. His apology came yesterday after a Chicago Tribune report outlined how the district mishandled dozens of cases. Phillies over the Cubs 6-1 at Wrigley Field. Jose Abreu's 2-run home run highlights a 4-run first. White Sox topped the Twins 6-3, earning a split of their doubleheader at Target Field after losing Game 1 4-2. The news, a service of Geico Chicagoland. Hey, Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help you save money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes there's lots of layers to the canceling of Roseanne.
I'm angry at her for the stupidity of this tweet. I'm angry but not surprised at the pathetic attempt to link a Roseanne tweet to President Trump. It shouldn't be unexpected. They jumped on that bandwagon over at CNN in a heartbeat.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear from Jim, who just completed a no-cost refinance with Townstone Financial.
We went through the experience with Townstone. The experience was amazing. We had a point person that took control of the refi. The communication was specific and exactly what we needed to do. That I was never in the dark in the process. So I knew when I needed to get documents. I knew exactly what I needed. I would recommend Townstone to anybody, and I do.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
5:36, a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Des Plaines, Rand Road remains closed at Minor due to police activity. This is Minor to the west, Dempster to the east, just west of the Tri-State Tollway. Police activity there. Romeo Road remains shut down. Macon and Belmont, rollover crash. Edens, Kennedy, looking good. Eisenhower eastbound. Heavy Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue and Ogden to the Burns Circle. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Line is 18 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop 420, 8094 to the merge. Tollways look good. Traffic service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Those students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. A warmer day ahead. Blend of sun and clouds and a high of 79, partly cloudy and 64 overnight. Currently, it is 51 at O'Hare, much cooler lakeside, about 45 degrees right now. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues right now. And make sure to join me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon starting at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, no Eagles at the White House yesterday. Philadelphia variety, of course. And the mayor, Jim Kenney, Philadelphia mayor, he said something rather interesting in an interview with your girlfriend there, Don Lemon, on CNN about Trump. He was very critical of Trump. He's, disgrace to the country and all that. Then he said about just standing for the anthem hand over heart generally, why he does it, but others don't need to necessarily.
I stand for the national anthem and cover my heart because I'm a privileged white male, and I have a reason to stand. There are other people in this country who have not experienced the same level of fairness and same level of issues that I have, and they have a right to show their displeasure. And that's what the First Amendment's all about. And if he doesn't want to accept the First Amendment or other amendments, that's on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sophistry of making this a First Amendment issue. It's not. Of course, people have the right to not stand for the anthem or to protest the flag or the country or speak their piece, as long as they do so peaceably.
But if your boss and the league is saying we have new rules, without rules there's chaos, and you have to follow the rules.
Or it's a First Amendment violation to not invite a team that wins a championship to the White House. I mean, this is the sophistry of the left. And the whole I'm a white privileged male. I mean, it's the poison of identity politics on full display there. And I'll tell you what, they think, the likes of Jim Kenney think, I'm standing with the masses. I'm standing with the people, right? I'm down with the struggle.
The people who are wrongly accused, that are the victims of police brutality. And that's what April Ryan, she said, the whole taking a knee is about stopping police brutality. And she interrupted the press conference yesterday and listened to Sarah Sanders put her in her place.
One last question, Stephen.
About police-involved shootings. Is the president aware that this is about police-involved shootings and not about disrespecting the flag? Is the president aware of that, Sarah? Please. I understand you're going to Stephen, but I'm asking, there's an underlying issue, and it just keeps going about disrespect of the flag and soldiers. There are black and brown soldiers that fight in the military as well who feel that taking a knee, bringing attention to police-involved shootings is something that this White House should deal with. Is the president aware that taking the knee is about police-involved shootings?
The president has made his position crystal clear, and that it's about. I let you rudely interrupt me and your colleague. I'm going to ask that you allow me to finish my answer. I would be happy to answer it if you would stop talking long enough to let me do that.
Yeah, I mean, they think they're down with the struggle.
Wow.
And by the way, this is not just the province of the left, but it bleeds over to some sort of never-Trumpers or inclined to be never-Trumpers on the right, like Jonah Goldberg. He tweeted yesterday, the attempt to make the Eagles event cancellation about the national anthem is just a complete act of deceitful propaganda, and conservatives should have zero to do with it. If that was the issue, why schedule the event in the first place? Also, none of them kneeled. Shameful. It's almost a Trumpian-like tweet directed at Trump. He has a point. Why invite him in the first place? I mean, maybe it's just the inertia of doing these things that presidents do for championship teams. For many generations now. But the decision to cancel it. Let's say it's not about the anthem. Let's say it's about only a handful of players wanted to come, and many did not, and they were going to make a political statement and make a spectacle in that way by only having a fraction of the team show up. And so Trump said, "The hell with it." Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
No. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Well, 10 to 15 players were going to show up, and they wanted to show up. But President Trump had said there's fans out here waiting and to have them sit out there and wait for their favorite players, and not a lot of their favorite players are showing up. It's not worth it. So instead, he did something I thought that was brilliant. He honored veterans yesterday instead of honoring the Philadelphia Eagles. And they sang the national anthem. One, agitator in the crowd took a knee. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it was just goofy. But, that was good. People who fought for this country were honored instead of, overpaid professional athletes who are snobs.
Well, and I don't like jingoism, and politicians that go over the top with respect to wrapping themselves in the flag. Okay, and as I said, Goldberg's criticism of Trump, there's a point there, because there was this planned, and then it was canceled last minute, and I think, again, it was heading off a political spectacle, and maybe Trump spun it a bit to say this was about the anthem rather than the Eagles making a political spectacle of themselves for the purpose of embarrassing the president and giving the D.C. press corps something to write about and opine about, which, of course, they are doing anyway in the light of the cancellation. And also, it's a way for Trump to present a choice to the American people. You may have some qualms with me, but which side of the skirmish line are you on with people who don't want to respect our country, or think the way they respect the country is by demagoguing police officers? Because that's really, the whole kind of, this is about police brutality. It kind of sort of is for some of them.
It started that way.
It started that some way for some of the individuals.
Right, and then it just varied off into obscurism.
Well,
what are we protesting now?
It just became all current. It's like Black Lives Matter. It started as police brutality, and then they're talking about climate change and everything else. It's just a manifestation of the left. But here's the point I want to get back to too, because April Ryan did it, and the mayor Kinney of Philadelphia did it too. We're down with the struggle, and the way we're down with the struggle is by attacking Trump and providing political cover to people who demagogue the country, who inflame tensions along identity lines. That's how we show we're down with the struggle. And you know what? That's exactly how tone deaf the Democrats are. And some other Democrats are picking up on this. It's very interesting over the last couple of days with Howard Schultz stepping down as chairman of Starbucks, and all the speculation that he may run for president. And then Chris Matthews on Morning Joe yesterday. Listen to Howard Schultz on CNBC talking about his concerns about his party, the Democrats.
I will say that it concerns me that so many voices within the Democratic Party are going so far to the left. And I ask myself, how are we going to pay for all these things in terms of things like single payer, or people espousing the fact that the government is going to give everyone a job? I don't think that's realistic. And I think we've got to get away from all of these falsehoods and start talking about the truth and not false promises.
Boy, he's going to have a tough road in the primary with that kind of talk, isn't he?
Oh, my gosh. Bernie Sanders is going to bury him.
Well, not
because all the kiddies want free college, and that's why they're all supporter fans or fans of Bernie Sanders.
Well, right. And
sounds great. Yeah, I'd like free college, too, or free education.
Well, the issue is the country ready to, make difficult adult decisions about what we want at somebody else's forced expense?
I want to hear what Chris Matthews had to say.
So Matthews talked about, he's always hearkening back to the Kennedy era. He still has the kind of Camelot visage in his head. But there is a point that he makes about where the Democrats have gone and where they're going to continue to stay if they don't change their way.
A true Democrat, lowercase d, thinks they're no better than anybody else. That's what a Democrat is. And when the party regains that with white, black, Hispanic people, everybody starts to think of themselves as one of them instead of being better than them, they'll get back to the party of the people, and they're not there yet. There's too many elitism. There's so much elitism in the Democratic Party. It's so outrageous. And it all comes down to the notion of the meritocracy being entirely academic-based. You don't want to hear about a master plumber being an elite. He is, or she is, but it's all academic, and it's a game they've been playing with themselves, and it's self-saluting. And I'm telling you, the people feel it. There's a party going on, and they ain't invited to it. And that's a big part of this. It's not just economics. I don't buy the whole Marxist argument. It's all about economics. It's not all about economics. It's about sensing that your leaders give a damn about you personally.
Wow. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line is Chris Matthews had an epiphany.
As Howard Schultz had.
Well, Howard Schultz, that's not an epiphany for Schultz, but Matthews about the self-saluting. That's what the Philly mayor is doing. Does Trump do that too? Sure he does. But I mean, but you're talking about the philosophy of the party is all self-reverential, self-saluting, with deference to elites that have academic credentials and profile in our society, to the expense of those who do not. And in 2016, those who do not said, "Go pound sand." Right? I said this before. I'll say it again. Punished economically, ridiculed culturally, and people are sick of it. I know I am. Tim in Woodstock, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy. The idea that the national anthem serves as some kind of a theme song for people who feel privileged in this country is really a sickening thought. There's plenty of white people who are down on their luck, who struggle, who are poor. And the idea that we should only sing if we feel privileged is I don't know, it just turns my stomach. And I just want to say that I love the president. I love so many of the things he's doing, but I thought it would have been better to just if there were just one guy who wanted to come to the White House, I would have let him come. I would have given him a great day, maybe go play golf together. I think it would have served as an example to the others.
Yeah, that's actually that's a fair point. Thanks for the call, Tim. I like that. I like that idea. Hey, if only 5 or 10 or 1 is going to come, fine. I'll entertain the 5 or the 10 or the 1. We'll have a good old time.
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea. Yeah, okay. And by the way, the Michelle Obama moment with Kenny, first time I'm proud of my country. I agree with Tim. The idea that because some people have been wronged in this country, and oh, by the way, at the hands of the government, right? The anthem is about we the people. The anthem isn't about the federal government. Because some people have been wronged, you have nothing to be proud of in this country because there's been unfairness, because there's been atrocities committed by some Americans at the expense of others. All that's true. Mm-hmm. And yet it's still the greatest country in the history of the world, and a man has fallen. So you're going to have man's, barbaric acts against man.
And the mayor of Philadelphia, he's just trying to make a national name for himself.
The identity politics is so anti-intellectual. They should be embarrassed. All these elites with these wonderful academic credentials, they're frauds. Mike in Bolingbrook.
Yeah, this puke in Philadelphia, the mayor of Philadelphia. Self-privileged? How does he describe himself as self-privileged? He probably had a silver spoon in his mouth his whole life. He's ridiculous.
Thanks, Mike. Dan in Libertyville.
2 things. One, Chris Matthews said master plumbers are an elite. I'm a master plumber. We're going to have a good laugh at the supply house, slapping each other on the back, telling each other we're elite.
Go through a high-five tunnel on the way to work today. Like, hey, everybody.
I'm telling you, we're going to be loving that.
Yeah, well, at least got a hat tip there
in
from
regards
Matthews.
to President
got a tingle.
Trump not inviting. In regards to President Trump not inviting them to the White House, he is the president, and at this time, that's his house, that's his party. He can throw it if he wants to, or he can cancel it if he wants to. In regards to the mayor and his statements, I think he's just grandstanding.
Thanks, Dan.
You.
It's Trump's party, and he can cry if he wants to.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated price competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-613-7416. That's 800-613-7416. 800-613-7416. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey, got a great night's sleep last night, all because of MyPillow. I love it. It conforms to my neck and back. And now they have the mattress topper. Have you heard about it? 3 unique layers. It helps with pressure points. It keeps you cool, and it keeps you warm if you need it. And there's 30% off the mattress topper right now in the month of June. Plus, if you order that amazing mattress topper, you get not only 30% off, but you get 2 free standard MyPillows. It's the best deal ever. So here's what you do. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code. If you have an animal, a dog or a cat, check out their pet beds. It's great because you can wash them and dry them. A lot of people, when those pet beds get dirty, and trust me, they do, throw them out or take them to the cleaners. You can just wash yours in the washer and dryer. 30% off those amazing pet beds. I love the sheets. It's like Egyptian cotton. There's a special blend, and it's so awesome every night to get in those sheets. 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales
director you're looking for. But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. And during our Memorial Day sale, go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and you'll get up to $150 towards your mattress order. That's HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
On AM 560, it is 5:57. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Stevenson isn't just heavy now, it's absolutely brutal with delays from Weber to 83, big delays First Avenue to Pulaski, and then Ashland to the Ryan. It is an hour and 14 minutes already from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 50 minutes from the Tri-State. Edens is okay. The Kennedy, just 21 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, 47 minutes, 390 to the Circle. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 19 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop 423. Traffic is a service of LifeLock. LifeLock Identity Theft Protection has added Norton Security to help protect you against cyber criminals. Protection for your identity and devices. Go to LifeLock.com. Enter promo code RISK for an extra 10% off the low starting price, $7.99 a month. Terms apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sun and clouds, high 79, partly cloudy night, low 64. Then partial sunshine tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm spots during the day and into the evening. High again 79 later at night, remaining mostly cloudy with a low 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 50 at O'Hare. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. The Answer. An elderly man is dead following a house fire on Chicago's South Side. The blaze broke out early this morning near 118th and Perry. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are asking for dismissal of a federal lawsuit filed by an ex-campaign worker who alleges her reporting of the sexual harassment cost her a promotion. A second former Wheaton College football player is taking a plea deal to end the hazing charges against him. And a Chicago man is facing attempted murder charges after a woman was attacked at a Northside CTA station last week. Phillies cruise past the Cubs. White Sox split a doubleheader with the Twins at Target Field. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
A Republican does make the ballot for governor in California. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Some results are still coming in from races in 8 primary states. One of the most closely watched races was for second place in California.
Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom will face Republican John Cox in the California governor's race. Running against a Republican wasn't a sure thing here with California's primary process, where the top 2 vote-getters, regardless of party, move on to the general. It was thought former L.A. Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa might end up challenging Newsom. Cox told supporters Tuesday night that Newsom should have been more careful when he wished to face a Republican.
You know, the voters stood up to the special interests of this state who are trying to take this state down with them. We are not going to let them, are we?
In the Senate race, incumbent Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein won the top spot in her primary. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The site's confirmed for next week's North Korea summit in Singapore, the Capella Hotel on Sentosa Island. President Trump is scheduled to meet with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at 9 a.m. local time Tuesday. That's 9 p.m. Monday night, East Coast, our time. Facebook confirms its shared user data with some companies in China. More from Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York.
Chris, the news that Facebook has data sharing partnerships with at least 4 Chinese companies, including the world's 3rd largest smartphone maker, comes just weeks after the social media company said it would change its practices on data sharing. The New York Times reported last weekend that data of Facebook users' friends could have been accessed without their explicit consent. Facebook denied that and said the data access was to allow its users to access account features on mobile devices. Chris.
Tanya, thanks. The Secret Service arrests a White House contractor wanted for attempted murder in Maryland. Martise Edwards was taken into custody at a checkpoint. No details about the crime have been made available. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streeter and get more tractor.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we were on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is coming, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app and download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Robito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I'm often critical of the D.C. Press Corps and its local counterparts in places like Chicago. And when I am critical, it's because it's appropriate to be.
Yes.
But I also...
You're not critical of anyone.
I also respect good journalism and will recognize it. And this investigative report on CPS done by the Chicago Tribune is just such a case of really fantastic journalism. It is a report that documents gruesome systemic sexual abuse in the Chicago public school system. They were top athletes and honor roll students, children struggling to read, and teenagers seeking guidance. But then they became prey among the many students raped or sexually abused during the last decade by trusted adults working in the Chicago public schools as district officials repeated obvious child protection mistakes. And in some cases in this report, worse than mistakes, it was purposeful covering up of abuse. The scope of this?
Is this like another Catholic Church scandal?
Yes.
Do you think it could be that big?
Yes. Well, here's what the Tribune found. The exact number of cases in which school workers sexually assaulted students remains elusive, the Tribune reports, in part because CPS does so little to understand and tackle the problem. Willful blindness. Sound familiar? The district acknowledges that it does not track child abuse by its employees in a consistent or formal manner. review of documents since 2011 when Tiny Dancer was elected. The Tribune found, and the district acknowledged, that its law department had investigated 430 reports that school employees had sexually abused, assaulted, or harassed students. In 230, so more than half of the cases, investigators found credible evidence of misconduct, conceded CPS. But, and by the way, this has become a campaign issue, of course, with the re-election up next year. And I'm increasingly convinced that Lori Lightfoot, the attorney who's running, black female attorney, the triple threat, as she calls herself, because she's black, female, and lesbian. But nonetheless, she's sharp, and she put Tiny Dancer into full Nathan Sturm mode yesterday by picking up this issue, holding a presser on it. Other candidates released statements, but I don't think they're getting the fully grasping how important this is, and it'll be interesting to see if it's covered with the alacrity that the sex abuse scandal in the Catholic Church was covered, or other such instances, because this is an institution, of course, that the left defends without fail, the Chicago Public School System. Lori Lightfoot on the report.
We found out last Friday that for far too many CPS kids and their parents, their schools were not a sanctuary of safety, but rather places where children were victimized by predators who masqueraded as concerned teachers, coaches, and staff. The Tribune reporting revealed that for years, children in the Chicago public schools have been victimized by CPS personnel through offenses ranging from inappropriate touching, communications, and sadly, rape. It is crushingly heartbreaking that this happened. We know from lots of examples across the country and here in Chicago that you must have people who are well-trained to deal with young children and victims of sexual abuse. It is a very specific way in which you must ask the questions, make sure that you're preserving evidence, and the fact that that wasn't even in place and still isn't in place all this time later since they've been on notice, there's no excuse for that. But
there's no excuse for it. It's a failure of leadership, and I know that Tiny Dancer likes to do the Mayor Daley when it comes to the Chicago public school system and pretend that the mayor's not in charge of the schools. But, of course, we know better.
He is.
And but listen to Tiny Dancer. Is
he owning this or tap dancing it around? Or a pirouette or a kickball change?
He was using all of those moves. Listen to this word salad.
Look, I think all adults offer an apology. I offer my apology, but the question is, what are we going to do now besides words? What are the deeds to fix this up? I take responsibility, like Janice does take responsibility, to do this. My point is, if you have a suggestion for how to tighten something up, offer that. I take responsibility, and I've also apologized, and I will apologize, like I expect every adult who has any role or responsibility. I'm accountable. For me, I'm also accountable to make sure that we, Janice and I, have a plan in place to comprehensively make sure that our kids can go to school safely. That said, if anybody has an idea, anybody, bring them forward, anywhere. But to sit there, my view is to remove this from politics and make sure that it is properly executed, a plan to ensure the safety, security, and education of our children.
You seem defensive.
I'm not being defensive. You're the one who's being defensive. Why is it always the other person who's being defensive? You ever asked yourself that? Why don't you ask yourself that?
Yeah, no, thank you, Tiny Dancer. I will ask myself that.
This sounds exactly like the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal.
Because
they're protecting the players instead of the victims.
Well, also
and they're covering up crimes.
A plan. You know, let's not pay attention to what's in the past now. We need a plan going forward. Hey, if anybody has an idea, because he I think got caught off guard by Lori Lightfoot and this being put on his lap. If anybody has an idea, hey, bring forward your ideas. Well, let me just read from the Tribune report again. The district, the same district that's running those commercials through Michael Sachs, Rahm's top financier's nonprofit. Right, running those commercials about how wonderful CPS is. We talked about it last week, featuring Janice Jackson, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
I wondered why I got that email blast from her.
The district acknowledges that it does not track child abuse by its employees in a consistent or formal manner.
No, and it doesn't. And take case in point, Stephen Stefania. In 2011, he resigned from CPS. He was caught. He touched the crotch of one student. He also taught disabled students how to circumvent the internet firewall to access pornographic websites. So then he applied for a job in the Florida School District. They called CPS directly, and they gave them no information about the misconduct allegations against him. Didn't say a word. So he gets away with it.
In the Tribune report again, ineffective background checks expose students to educators with criminal convictions and arrests for sex crimes against children. And CPS failed to disclose to other districts the past employees had resigned, as you're giving one example. But they also have people in the system that are not properly checked out. In CPS, systemic failure. So that is a management problem. 430 cases, 230 of which investigators found credible evidence of misconduct in the last 7 years. That's the definition of a systemic problem. And you're talking about systems to, number one, prevent, to, number two, investigate and adjudicate that are not in place, and the district concedes they're not. Is there any confusion here about where the buck stops? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Let's give some examples here of what we're talking about, put some actual human beings to the data. 16-year-old honor student aiming for a law career began cutting advanced chemistry and math classes to avoid a track coach who repeatedly raped her in his office. This at Simeon.
Oh, God.
Even after he was arrested, she didn't know, quoting her, she didn't know if she wanted to go to school anymore. She told me she felt alone. She talked about suicide, according to Simeon's principal. At Hubbard High School, Kayana Aguilar was 17 when she reported a security guard for groping her all over. I trusted him because he worked at the school, she told the Tribune. He was an ordinary person who violated me. It could happen to anyone. Case after case that are reported by the Tribune, they looked at 108 cases identifying 72 school employees as alleged perpetrators in the last decade. The rest were student-on-student sexual attacks.
Morgan Park, the gym teacher there, was fired. Well, this is a positive thing because they concluded that he had sex multiple times with the student he had been tutoring after school, but wasn't charged by police because she was 18.
Right, and now the investigative side, get beyond the prevention side, the investigative side too. You have a duty to report, right?
Right.
If school employees suspect or learn of abuse, state law and district policy require them to notify DCFS immediately. You can't just walk into the principal's office and make this an internal matter by law. It's a criminal offense to fail to do so. But the Tribune found that some CPS employees chose to investigate on their own, questioning students, their parents, peers, even an accused employee before calling in the experts. Candace in DuPage.
Real quick, there's a student from a woman named Morgan who reported that a teacher at Walter Payton Prep, you precious school, you geniuses, had kissed her face, touched her inappropriately when she was 14.
Candace in DuPage on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Congrats on the trophy, Amy.
Thank you.
Trophies.
Okay,
second place doesn't count.
Don't you think, Dan, that this is like a systemic NEA issue with hiring? I was talking to this guy. He was a teacher. He was retired out here in Elmhurst, and he was a downtown teacher. And he told me, and I was talking to him about how they get hired. You get hired, according to him, via the alderman gives you the nod. So if this is the policy and that you have to be a leftist hack to get a job at schools, is this any surprise to anybody? And I don't understand why parents don't get it. Time and time again, and whenever this happens, they always say with a little footnote, this is, pedophiles like to hang around where kids are. If anybody thinks their kids are safe in public schools, I mean, I just think I'm not surprised. I don't think that it's Rahm's issue, and who the hell would want Lori?
Well, it is Rahm's issue because he's the mayor.
Well, I understand, but what I'm saying is it's bigger than Rahm. It's it's all over. Thank God for Project Veritas for bringing this to light, because that's just starting the ball rolling. But this is every single county, every state It's not just Chicago.
Thanks for the call,
Well,
Candace.
I'm so surprised because to volunteer to be a coach or to even help out in the lunchroom or to go on field trips, you have to go. I went to I go every year. I get fingerprinted. They run a background check and they send that to the head office. That's why I'm so surprised. I mean, especially that guy, Coach Babyface, the volunteer coach at Simeon that you just mentioned, the track coach and the boys wrestling coach who raped that girl repeatedly. He had 4 felony convictions for dealings and possessing drugs. And that was just the start of his long rap sheet.
9 of the 72 Chicago school workers identified by the Tribune as being accused of abusing students since 2008 had prior arrests related to alleged sexual offenses involving children or drug, weapons, assault, or theft allegations that signal they could be a threat to children. John Cass writes about this in the Tribune that, Rahm owns this. He compares this, where your mind naturally goes to the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal. Church leaders actively engaged in a cover-up over decades, writes Cass. The CPS abuse scandal seems more about the cost of bureaucratic indifference, but the outcomes are terribly similar, aren't they? Children were raped and otherwise abused. Like the church, the school system seemed more concerned about protecting itself than putting the kids first. So how is this going to be covered? This is going to be interesting. How is this? I know CPS is, they just hired Schiff Harden to do, a top-down review for $500,000. They're going to throw some money at it and dispatch some lawyers and pretend they're on the job now.
Well, it's good when people
How is it going to be covered, though?
Oh, by the media?
Are we going to get a spotlight? Are we going to have, again, congratulations to the Chicago Tribune reporters. This is excellent journalism.
Yeah, and some of the victims who came forward, like Morgan Aranda from Walter Payton Prep.
Of course.
So they could tell the story. Right. I'm just saying that they could get victims, do what they did.
Of course.
When Marianne Ahern first started on this story, she received so many hate letters at NBC, and all she was doing was uncovering the truth.
What are you talking? You're talking about the church.
The church. But I'm saying, so I hope they're continued, to be brave and cover this story respectfully that they should be doing and not just burying it.
Right. This is a national story, international story. To have the number of cases and the type of cases you're talking about.
It's unbelievable.
So are we going to get the kind of accountability that should be demanded of a school system that is a terrible school system? It is a terrible school system, and I don't care how many millions of Michael Sachs's dollars Rahm spends trying to paper over it. For
the 5 selective enrollment schools are the top
small
schools in the state.
Yeah, for a small percentage of the students, it works. A small percentage of students that would be...
But they're even having these problems.
Well, of course, because it's systemic. But a small percentage of students where the parents are engaged that would get a good education no matter where you drop them, yes. For the vast majority, the people that could be victimized like this and not have a voice until now, until this report came out, it's not working. They get poorly educated and they get preyed upon. They get preyed upon in multiple levels. So I want an accounting. Maybe this is this it? I shouldn't say maybe because that's optimistic. Is this it? Is this where Chicago actually holds for the first time in 100 years the people in charge of the city responsible for what happens on their watch, what they do and what they don't do? Will this be the moment? As I said when we were talking about California, nobody in terms of the electorate has not held anybody in the state accountable in 50 years. Republicans or Democrats. Will systemic sexual abuse of children demand fleeing CPS the way that parishioners understandably fled the Catholic Church, disappointed with the shock, disgusted by the leadership of the church and what they did? Will there be a reckoning? Is my question. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Because, just understand, these are people that everybody pretends to represent. Largely minority families. CPS is 85% black and Latino. 85% free or reduced school lunch. So they're, the lower end of the socioeconomic scale. Every politician in the state says they are in office or they're running for office to serve these families.
There's another case with a choral director who was at Lincoln Elementary and then apparently had a 5-year relationship with a boy, then was able to go over to Walter Payton Prep, and right before they were going to launch this investigation against him, he resigned.
Mike on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I don't want to shock you folks, but this is the future of the Democratic Party. This is who they cater to, criminals. They have priority when it comes to hiring. We had a whole class get hired by the city. They're either illegals who don't speak English or they've got criminals. You know, they got these teardrop tattoos on their eyes, and we're driving in the truck from job to job. They're yelling out the truck at young women, girls. You tell them you can't do that. But you know what? You can't touch these people now. The Democratic Party, especially in Chicago, has degraded to the lowest common denominator. That's who they play to.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mike. Well, I mean, look, Preckwinkle and Kim Foxx want to open up the prisons and don't want to put anybody new in them. And, I'm all on board for programs that have proved successful with ex-offenders. Right? People in prison that serve their sentence are going to come back, and you want them to not be offenders anymore. And there are programs and organizations that do a great job of getting people on a path to be productive after they've messed up, after they've hurt somebody else. But this is not what we're talking about here. This is willy-nilly. This is, as John Cass writes, bureaucratic indifference. Raping and abusing children.
Raping.
Is that enough?
And you know how CPS found out about that case? It's from 2012 still. The kid posted on Facebook, I feel the need to tell my friends and family that I was sexually assaulted. What he did to this boy, I mean, I can't even tell you on the radio because it's so gruesome. And then he moved from Lincoln Elementary over to Walter Payton Prep.
Is it enough? Is it enough to hold anybody in charge in this state accountable for once? Or are you just going to allow them continue to say they're serving you while they're actually serving you up?
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Someone touches Peyton and Eli, they'll get boric acid in their eyes. Hi, if you're a business owner, you've experienced your fair share of emergencies, and they always seem to happen at the worst time. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone on call 24/7 to help for whatever may come up? It's not possible for every emergency, but it is available for your business's IT and computer systems. With a support agreement, Turnkey IT will keep your computer systems online and running with no worries. If an emergency does pop up, Turnkey IT is prompt and responsive without charging an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey proactively keep your business computer systems online with remote and on-site support. And right now, for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Enjoy the secure feeling of your network being supported by Turnkey IT 24/7. It's simple. For details, visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Chicago? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Chicago area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Chicago is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
Gentlemen, June is Men's Health Month. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They made it quick and easy. You'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify your insurance for you. Low T Center's physicians have been exclusively diagnosing and treating men for low testosterone for years. And in honor of Men's Health Month, Low T Center is offering a special testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. Take advantage of this offer, especially if you haven't met your deductible yet or have a high copay or simply don't have insurance. If you've noticed a decline in energy or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T makes you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. Do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself to call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from a VA client.
I do have a very close personal friend. Him and his wife were both Army. They did a couple tours. They were denied their VA loan at the 11th hour. They got the carpet pulled from underneath them. So, you hear horror stories like that. With you guys going through the VA process, you guys really did most of the legwork. I mean, just a matter of getting my paperwork in order and making sure you guys had the right documents so that you could push it through, make it happen, and get us the keys to our new home.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois Mortgage Licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, brains over beauty. Who wants that? The Me Too makeover for Miss America.
And don't speak ill of the dead. That's not one Minnesota's family with a very stark obit for dear old mom. We'll have it.
Oh, can't wait to hear that. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine at 6:30. General election matchups in 8 states are set after the biggest primary day of the year so far. People voting in primaries from Alabama to California, Iowa to South Dakota. California Senator Dianne Feinstein will be on the November ballot for a 6th term after running up more than 44% of the California total yesterday. We're watching this morning as the Teamsters Union and UPS are preparing for a possible strike. It was announced yesterday that members had voted overwhelmingly in favor of walking off the job. The issue is over the delivery company's expansion to service 7 days a week. A White House contractor is under arrest on an attempted murder charge. The 29-year-old from Maryland was taken into custody yesterday just outside of the White House. The contractor worked with the National Security Council. It's been identified as Martise Maurice Edwards. An immigration raid in Erie County, Ohio, has more than 100 people facing jobs. Feds say illegal immigrants using stolen identity documents, including Social Security numbers of the dead, got jobs. A police chase in Virginia involving a stolen military armored vehicle is over. The armored personnel carrier was taken from Fort Pickett near Richmond, Virginia. The driver drove down Interstate 95 and on to the streets of Richmond before the chase finally came to an end, and the driver was taken into custody. Here in Chicago, an elderly man is dead following a house fire on Chicago's south side. The blaze breaking out early this morning near 118th and Perry. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are asking for the dismissal of a lawsuit filed by an ex-campaign worker who alleges her reporting of sexual harassment cost her a promotion in the Speaker's political organization. A second former Wheaton College football player is taking a plea deal to end the hazing charges against him. Kyler Kriegel pleaded guilty yesterday to misdemeanor battery. Phillies over the Cubs 6-1 at Wrigley Field. Jose Abreu's 2-run home run highlights a 4-run first. The White Sox topped the Twins 6-3 to earn a split of their doubleheader at Target Field after losing the opener 4-2. The News is a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Progressive makes it easy to compare quotes and get a great rate with the new Home Quote Explorer, only at Progressive.com.
For more than a half-century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, MUELLER, CPA.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
6:35. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound delay start at Dempster. It's 25 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 19. Kennedy, 33 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 16 from Montrose, 13 in the Express. Outbound 15 minutes to Montrose, 32 to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, delay start around Wolf. It is 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 39. Stevenson is brutal. An hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's an hour from the Tri-State. Outbound 42 minutes to 355. On Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 425. North on Tri-State heavy, 111 to the Hinsdale Oasis. The Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day. You use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Warm day ahead. Sun and clouds, high 79, partly cloudy and 64 overnight. Currently, we have 50 degrees. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So there was this terrible news yesterday about Kate Spade's suicide, this handbag designer, right?
Yeah, 55 years old. She married David Spade's brother, and that's why they become Kate Spade, obviously, and she decided to start a handbag company, and everybody yesterday on social media was showing their first Kate Spade bag. Did you bring it in today, your first Kate Spade bag?
Can't afford Kate Spade.
Excuse me?
Can't afford Kate Spade.
Chelsea Clinton can. She said her first Kate Spade bag came from her grandmother and how she misses her grandmother and how it was special.
I'm more down market when it comes to my handbags, but this was a business started out of her apartment with her husband 25 years ago, and it grew into a business that I think was valued at like $2.5 billion. But her sister said something about not being terribly surprised that she had struggles with some form of mental illness.
Well, and ever since Robin Williams committed suicide, her sister said that she has been obsessed with that. Like, she would read articles, she would always talk about it, and she killed herself in a similar way. She took a scarf, put it around a doorknob, went over the door, and hanged herself that way.
Okay.
It's so well, but her husband was home at the time. But the housekeeper is the one who found her. And thank goodness her 13-year-old daughter was at school. She did leave a suicide note. And, the part that they released was saying, to her daughter, don't blame yourself. Don't feel guilty. Just ask Dad.
She'll be remembered much more fondly than one Kathleen Demlo Shunk, who was born on March 19, 1938. And she married Dennis Demlo at St. Anne's in 1957. They had 2 children, Gina and Jay.
That's nice.
Then in 1962, she became pregnant by her husband's brother, Lyle, and moved to California. She abandoned her children,
Daddy.
Gina and Jay, who were then raised by her parents. This is from her obituary that was submitted by her children.
Okay.
They are not remembering Mom fondly.
So she abandoned them, you said, after?
She abandoned her children, Gina and Jay, who were then raised by her parents in Clements. She will not be missed by Gina and Jay, and they understand that this world is a better place without her. What do you think about the unvarnished truth rather than not speaking ill of the dead when it comes to obituaries? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. This obituary was ultimately taken down. There's a lot of action on it. Some users, were saying that some readers were saying,
don't air your dirty laundry.
Well, respect and provide dignity to the dead.
No, I say this is cathartic. Let it out. If this is going to make you feel better to discuss what your mom did to you and if she abandoned you, then so be it. Oh, Dan, how will your obituary read? 312-642-5600.
The Redwood Gazette declined to comment on why the obit was taken down. But, yeah, others said, basically, let's set the record straight. And if that's the record, that's the record. And perhaps this is an example to others that if you behave badly, your children will remember and memorialize it.
And they'll make it public?
Yeah.
Did it say anything else? Does it show a picture of her?
Yeah, it's got a picture.
Wait, let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, she's a nice-looking lady. Did it say how she died? Did she fall or was she pushed?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You could take the stairs or the window, honey.
This is why you probably want to have your own obit written.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm just going to I've got it written.
Oh, okay.
Just make some edits as you go, add, subtract some things, and then...
Will Hayek be a pallbearer?
Have that ready to go. Have somebody ready to execute the publication of that obit before anybody else gets a chance, so that's the obit of record.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to do. You got to think ahead. You got to think about, how your enemies are going to come at you when it comes to, publishing when it comes to writing the history of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back to Kate Spade, though, real quick, because the police spoke about possible suicide at first since her husband was home at the time.
It appears at this point in time to be a tragic case of apparent suicide, but it is early in the investigation. There was a suicide note left at the scene.
It's just so selfish. She has a 13-year-old daughter whose life will never, ever, ever be the same. And hopefully her daughter won't write an obit about her mother.
Well, I'm sure it will be more charitable. Kathleen Demlow, though, her kids sort of got what they wanted. They raised the profile on Mom and her history, even though it was taken down. This became like this went viral yesterday.
Oh, really?
So, no.
Be nice to your children.
Well, it was an issue
don't
of
abandon them.
Right, don't have an affair with your husband's brother and abandon your children.
It's called Uncle Daddy.
That's the takeaway.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, plenty of sunshine. Some few clouds, a high of 79 degrees tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 64. And for Thursday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, not a complete washout, and a high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. It's a rough commute on the inbound Eisenhower and the inbound Stevenson this morning. The iClock's in at an hour and 6 minutes now from 390 to downtown, 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound 39 minutes to 390. Stevenson even worse. Delays starting at Weber Road, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State, outbound 42 minutes to 355. Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 33 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Ryan, now 37 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, I-80 to the Merge Bishoport, 31. Northbound Tri-State delays, 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway slow 83 to the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight Finley to St. Charles. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. David Koch stepping down from Koch Industries. A startling new warning on Medicare. Those stories next.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
It's probably been about 10 years ago. I had quite a few credit cards. The interest on the cards was really high. I was making the minimum payments, but barely. And it was just getting to be too much, so I called Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
They met with me, and they were able to get all of my credit cards in one lower payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
They did help me learn how to manage my money. Now, we have a house, and we're doing a lot better.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Holly, and I am debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
David Koch stepping down as Executive Vice President of Koch Industries because of deteriorating health. The billionaire conservative activist also leaving his role as Chairman of Americans for Prosperity. Without major changes, the Medicare system in danger of becoming insolvent by 2026, according to a new report from trustees of the system. That report finds the crisis will occur 3 years earlier than previously forecast. Medicare provides health insurance for 60 million Americans over the age of 65. Legendary sports gear maker Rawlings has been sold for $395 million. It's been in business for 131 years. Rawlings is known for outfitting pros like Mickey Mantle and providing the official MLB game ball. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Trust, trust, trust. Yes, I said trust 3 times because I want to tell you about a recent AM 560 charity benefactor and company that built their business and reputation over 3 decades by being trustworthy. I'm talking about Dependable Construction and founder Joe Barron. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer, then progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Dependable Construction has grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. So call Joe at Dependable Construction today. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit tuckpointchicago.net. tuckpointchicago.net.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. If Roseanne gets canceled, so should Samantha Bee. Who? It's someone you've never heard of, who has a show you've never seen, who said something vile about Ivanka. Oh, okay, yeah, fire what's-her-name, too. And if Bob Iger is going to apologize to Valerie Jarrett, when is he going to apologize to President Trump? Who? For what? He's a network executive you've never heard of, whose opinion you otherwise find irrelevant, who employs on-air personalities who have said profane and ignorant things about POTUS without consequence. Okay, yeah, apologize. Empty outrage is not synonymous with standing up for yourself or putting in the fight for others. It's just an uninspired substitute for having standards. What Valerie Jarrett termed a teaching moment during one of MSNBC's signature hastily assembled bigot-baiting town halls is actually a trap for conservatives. Jarrett wants you to give in to the left's lack of principles by abandoning yours. Outrage one-upmanship is a two-player game, you see. So ask yourself, do you think we beat them by joining them? Or is the move to be who they say they are but are not, and in so doing give lie to who they say we are and are not?
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, take a couple calls about that Kathleen Demlow obit, where her kids make sure that it's recorded for posterity that she abandoned them when she ran away with her husband's brother. And the world is a better place now that she's gone, they say. She will face her judgment. Related story, since we're talking about death, Koku Istanbulova.
Are you sure you don't want me to pronounce that?
Not the name assassin here. This is
Koku
for
Cocoa Puffs?
Istanbulova. She's a Russian woman who's purported to be the world's oldest person. Just celebrated her 129th birthday.
Oh, who wants to live to be 129? 312-364-250-600.
But she wishes she had died long ago. She's never lived a happy day in her life and has no idea how she has lived so long, that she has outlasted her children. She says it's God's will, and she considers her longevity a punishment instead of a gift, as I do each day.
Wow.
Lee, and on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Yeah, I understand that obituary 100%. I was abused as a child. My mother left my father for a child molester.
Oh.
And when I gave her the option of picking between me and my family or the child molester, she picked the child molester.
Yeah. Well,
and
have you guys ever reconciled since then?
No, I haven't spoken to her in 25 years.
Yeah, that's,
no, but then
a big break.
She also hasn't apologized. She denies the abuse, and, does everything. When I was a kid, she would almost on a daily basis tell me that she hated me, that I ruined her life, that she wished I was never born. And then there was the physical abuse, too. So she's just an evil person.
Thanks for the call, Lee. Sorry to hear that, but there are evil people in the world. No
and
question.
Sometimes they happen to be your family members.
Unfortunately, that's true. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning.
It's probably there's a time and a place to speak ill will of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, one of those times was May 2nd, 1945, when the New York Times printed Hitler's obituary. It's about 13,000 words long. It mentions murder 3 times and death 4 times in 13,000 words. A lot of it is like Hitler liked neatness. He enjoyed the friendship of English women. It didn't say anything about he loved slaughtering people and roasting them in ovens.
Yeah,
Nothing.
It's funny you bring that up because we recalled this a while back, and I'm trying to remember the context. But the New York Times did a profile piece on Hitler, so well before his rise, they did a profile piece on him when he was coming into power. They didn't believe that he was sincere in his anti-Semitism. They basically
thought it was a joke or something.
Well, they didn't think it was a joke. They just didn't believe.
Vicious rumor.
They put the profile of him was like he's a Bavarian gentleman. This is who enjoyed, quote, I'm quoting, who enjoyed strolls with his 3 sheepdogs along majestic mountain trails. Mostly Hitler was a hiker, according to the New York Times.
In fact, his obit, they should have titled it A Piece in Our Time.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. That is a good example of when speaking ill of the dead is appropriate.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at the HomeLoanExpert.com, a program that Ryan Kelly has that's near and dear to our hearts here at AM 560, is one specifically that caters to veterans, military families. The Hero Loan Program is what it's called. And Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, and thank you for letting me join you today, Dan. Hero.loan, that's Hero.loan. It's the only way to VA. And we were sitting at our office, and we were trying to find a way to give more back to our service members, active and retired, and military families. The VA loan program really needed to be retooled, I guess, for lack of better words, and that's what we've done. We've streamlined it. We close VA loans in 14 days. I pay for your appraisal, and we give a portion of our money back to a great foundation called Fisher House. If you're even considering refinancing or buying a home and you qualify for the VA financing, apply online today at Hero.loan. That's Hero.loan, the only way to VA. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Hey, Chicago. It's been a long, rough winter. Here at Spring Rock Gutter Guards, we've been getting a ton of calls from frustrated homeowners experiencing gutter damage caused by heavy ice and snow. Now that it's raining, their gutters are leaking and overflowing. Not good. That's why for the month of June only, when you purchase your Spring Rock Gutter Guard system, we are going to upgrade a section of your choice to our patented heated gutter guard system for free. You can take care of that pesky ice problem over your entry door or garage at no additional cost. Heated gutter guards from Spring Rock Gutters will give you peace of mind year-round. Clog-free when it rains, ice-free in the winter. This special gutter guard upgrade is only being offered during the month of June, so call today, 708-571-0632 to schedule your free estimate or visit springrockgutters.com for more information. Don't miss out on your free heated gutter guard upgrade. That number again is 708-571-0632. Drain your gutters, not your wallet. Visit springrockgutters.com.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director
you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and since this hour has been sort of the macabre and the depraved, let's continue it.
Okay, what are we going to talk? Who died now?
Well, of course.
Was it murder or suicide?
Of course, we've talked about the scandal at the Dr. Larry Nassar scandal with all the gymnasts at Michigan State that he molested and
there's the USC
assaulted.
scandal with the gynecologist on campus.
Okay, I'm sticking in Michigan State.
Okay.
Michigan State physicist Joseph Hattie, 51, charged Monday by the Michigan Attorney General's office with 2 counts of bestiality after he allegedly sodomized a basset hound.
What? Wait. Say that again, but slowly, because I'm blonde. He did what to a basset hound?
Exactly.
And what position was he?
He's a physicist. Former Michigan State president described.
Okay.
Well.
He was a great employee. He came to work on time. He loved his dogs. He wanted to bring his dog to work, but I didn't know why. It wasn't a service dog.
Yeah, the animal control director
Oh,
the county there in East Lansing said that bestiality in that part of Michigan is not a very common thing.
It's not common anywhere.
I
mean,
know,
seriously,
that's
they
just the
said
way
that.
he described it.
Oh my God! Look at his picture too.
He's a health physicist at the university. He's been there for more than 2 years. Was also a radiation safety technologist for 4 years before that. So
Please tell me he wasn't married.
he worked in the school's veterinary diagnostic laboratory,
Oh dear God!
which aims to protect the public by ensuring the health of animals in the state of Michigan and around the nation by investigating and studying, and apparently sometimes dating the animals.
It's the Beagles Me Too movement. Or the Basset Hound.
Yeah, Basset Hound. Yeah, the Michigan Attorney General's office note that
What did they find? Pornographic
he
pictures on his computer?
did not appear to have committed the acts on campus or with an animal owned by the university.
Well, that's good. It wasn't Michigan State property. Thank you.
Yeah, the dog
They're
has...
they're providing Michigan State Police providing digital forensic support in their investigation. So there are pictures or videos. Great. Well, that's just fantastic. Do you have anything else, Dan?
That would be a difficult trial to cover.
Can we change the tone of this show, please? I'm dying on the vine. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to former DCFS General Counsel Liz Yore about the CPS sex abuse scandal, 7:05.
But here's Mike Scott.
Phillies cruise past the Cubs. White Sox split a doubleheader. WIND, Chicago News Time 7.
More races are set for the November midterms. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News, with a look at some of yesterday's primary results in 8 states. Here's Fox's Rachel Sutherland live from Washington.
Chris, it was a big night for women in Iowa, where 2 Democrats won their primaries, hoping to break the state's all-male delegation. In New Mexico, Democrat Deb Haaland won the 1st congressional district primary, giving her a shot at becoming the first female Native American in Congress.
So tonight we made history.
In Montana, Democratic incumbent Senator John Tester will face GOP state auditor Matt Rosendale in November.
What's good for our nation is great for Montana.
Incumbent New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez won his primary. In Mississippi, GOP Senator Roger Wicker, who had the backing of President Trump, won his contest. Chris?
Rachel, thanks. More debris pouring from a volcano in Guatemala that's killed at least 75 people on Sunday, with nearly 200 missing.
Authorities announced new evacuations and pulled back rescue workers Tuesday after super hot volcanic material began flowing again down the volcano of fire. Strong explosions shooting ash more than 16,000 feet above sea level.
This volcano is very active throughout the years, but nobody was expecting to be this bad.
Golda Ibarra is with the nonprofit aid organization World Vision.
More than 2,000 people are in the shelters right now, and we expect more to come.
The volcano west of Guatemala City started spewing hot gases and ash on Sunday. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Former President Bill Clinton says it wasn't his finest hour. A Today Show interview where he got testy when asked if he should apologize to Monica Lewinsky, and said he did apologize 20 years ago.
I realized, there are a lot of people that don't have any memory of that, and all they saw was me mad, and I seemed to be tone deaf, to put it mildly.
He was on the CBS Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Stock markets overseas are up today. Dow futures up 117 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 50 degrees. 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An elderly man is dead following a house fire on Chicago's South Side. The blaze broke out early this morning near 118th and Perry. A person who jumped from the building is doing okay. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan are asking for the dismissal of a lawsuit filed by an ex-campaign worker who alleges that her reporting of the sexual harassment claim cost her a promotion with the Speaker's political organization. A Hickory Hills man is accused of killing his wife in their southwest suburban home. Czeslaw Scipior is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Maria Scipior. Mayor Emanuel offering an apology following harsh criticism that he didn't do enough or anything to help CPS students who were sexually abused by school employees.
I take responsibility, and I've also apologized, and I will apologize like I expect every adult who has any role or responsibility.
Former Assistant U.S. Attorney Maggie Hickey will conduct an independent review of the policies and practices of the district. A second former Wheaton College football player is taking a plea deal to end the hazing charges against him. Kyler Kriegel pleaded guilty yesterday to misdemeanor battery. He will not serve any jail time. The former chairman of Tronc is calling off the deal to sell his entire stake in the media conglomerate. Michael Farrows struck a deal in April to sell 25% of Tronc for just over $208 million to McCormick Media. In a filing with the SEC, Farrows said he terminated that purchase agreement because of a breach of its obligations by the buyer. Phillies cruise past the Cubs 6-1. White Sox topped the Twins 6-3 to earn a split of that doubleheader at Target Field after dropping the opener 4-2. The news service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, a 3-pack of Peak microfiber claws are just $1.99. Plus, with each purchase, Napa will make a donation to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. That's Napa know-how while supplies last. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder is trying to figure out the rules of the media.
Roseanne Barr tweets out this stupid, offensive tweet, and she's gone. Now, again, I don't have a dog in the fight. If ABC wants to take her off because they feel that she's too offensive, that's on them. They probably did the only sensible thing they could do as far as business is concerned. What I'm trying to figure out is what the rules are. How does Al Sharpton have a show?
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales
director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
7:05. The news is also a service of Accountemps. Payroll, bookkeeping, month-end. Feeling short-staffed? Well, Accountemps can provide accounting and finance pros on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. A check of the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy. Inbound delay start at Cumberland. It's 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 21 from Montrose, 20 in the Express. Outbound 24 minutes to Montrose and 42 to the airport. Edens 26 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 21. Eisenhower's now an hour and 6 minutes, 390 to downtown. 50 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. An hour and 2 minutes, Tri-State. Outbound 45 minutes to 355. The Bryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, ID to the merge, Bishop 435. Northbound Tri-State heavy, 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan until way to North Avenue, Reagan Tollway slow 83 to the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial in pockets from Boughton to St. Charles, and it's heavy from the Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, a blend of sun and clouds, high 79. Partly cloudy night, low 64. Partly sunny tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, high again 79. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 50 at O'Hare, sunshine. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. More info online at sjnma.org.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and the Tribune blockbuster report on systemic sexual abuse inside the Chicago public school system. A review of the records that are available, that were made available from CPS under threat of a lawsuit to force public disclosure, acknowledged that the CPS acknowledged that its law department had investigated 430 reports that school employees had sexually abused, assaulted, or harassed students since 2011 in Tiny Dancer's 7 years as mayor. In 230 of the cases, so more than half, investigators found credible evidence of misconduct according to the Chicago Public Schools. The summary of this: they were top athletes and honor roll students, children struggling to read, and teenagers seeking guidance, but then they became prey among the many students raped or sexually abused during the last decade by trusted adults working in the Chicago Public Schools as district officials repeated obvious child protection mistakes, and I would add more than mistakes, criminal failures like the duty to report. When students summoned the courage to disclose abuse, teachers and principals failed to alert child welfare investigators or police despite the state's mandated reporter law, so the Tribune reports. John Cass wrote about this morning. Because of course, Tiny Dancer is now on the spot on this. Everybody understands the mayor's in charge of the schools. He writes, does Cass, did the mayor approve of bureaucratic indifference and dysfunction that led to in-school rapes? No, of course not. But Emmanuel is a father who loves his children. If he weren't the mayor and had a child at a CPS school where predators were allowed to roam, he'd be the first to say that the mayor was responsible, wouldn't he? If you had a child in CPS, you had a child in one of these schools where one of these incidents occurred, you'd be the first one calling for accountability, wouldn't you? All the way to the top. Everybody would. The question is, will everybody remember to hold people in charge accountable when the opportunity presents itself on election days? Because it hasn't happened in my lifetime in Chicago. Here was what Tiny Dancer had to say in the wake of this report and allegations of his, executive failure.
Look, I think all adults offer an apology. I offer my apology, but the question is, what are we going to do now besides words? What are the deeds to fix this up? I take responsibility, like Janice does take responsibility, to do this. My point is, if you have a suggestion for how to tighten something up, offer that.
Yeah, everybody is responsible. Everybody should apologize. He apologizes, and everybody should apologize. But now what are we going to do? Let's, take this out of politics, and what's past is past, but now what are we going to do?
Well,
I don't know.
What they're going to do, on June 1st, all parents who have kids in CPS, obviously I have too, got a letter from Janice Jackson talking about protecting Chicago's children, and their plan of action, Dan, is they're hiring Maggie Hickey, a former assistant U.S. state's attorney, and Illinois Executive Inspector General. She's going to lead this top-to-bottom review. And then they have recommendations. If you're a coach now, you have to have background check and all this. They have a long list of what they're doing to protect our children now. But the problem is what was the cover-up first before we figure out what we're going to do in the future.
Give me a break. $500,000 to Schiff Hardin to bring in lawyers to do a top-bottom review and produce a report in 6 weeks. Give me a break.
The Tribune gave them. They don't need it. The Tribune gave them their report.
That's political damage control. The whole kind of if you have ideas, suggest them. What are your ideas? You're the mayor. You're the one responsible ultimately. You're the chief executive. You've been there for 7 years. What do you got? Why does it take the Tribune 7 years into your term to unearth what's happened over the last 7 years in CPS? Everybody apologize. I apologize. Everybody apologize. Now let's get to work. And I'm going to bring in a law firm to do a review. That's going to make it all better. Will people buy it?
I just can't believe what went on.
I don't know if Chicagoans will buy it or not. There is a real virulent strain of Stockholm Syndrome that afflicts Chicago. So I don't know. For more on this topic, in terms of the ideas of what could be done, we're pleased to be joined by Liz Yore. She was the former general counsel for the Department of Children and Family Services, the agency that the school officials have the duty to report incidents of sexual abuse to. And she was also Oprah Winfrey's child advocate attorney. Liz, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan and Amy. Sorry we have to talk about this yet again.
Well, yeah, so give us your perspective, particularly your time as a GC for DCFS, and with respect to what is being reported in the Tribune about the failures to abide the duties to report, and how something like this can go on across a system as big as CPS for as long as it apparently has.
Sure. Our experience at DCFS is that schools are notoriously taking on the responsibility, which they should not, of investigating child abuse and then deciding on their own through their administrators whether or not they're going to report it to the police or to DCFS. I mean, my strong belief is this is happening in all sorts of school districts around Illinois. Chicago being the largest, this is the tip of the iceberg. And what needs to be done is heads need to be rolled. People need to understand that this is they're criminally negligent, mandated reporters who do not report any allegation of child abuse in a school setting, whether it's the principal, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a counselor or a school nurse. They're obligated to report immediately, not to have the principal conduct an investigation. That's why things like, we'll let you resign before we investigate. And that's the dirty scandal that's going on, is that countless teachers are allowed to resign before an investigation is undertaken. And what happens is then they move from school district to school district like pieces on a puzzle. And unfortunately, this is a national scandal. Amy and Dan, there is no national database of teachers who have been found to be alleged or found to be involved in child sex abuse. None. I mean, we track cars. Every car is tracked in the United States on a national database, but our teachers who abuse children, no. So that's one fix that needs to be occur immediately. Secondly, what also, we always have the blue stocking firms that come in to do a, $500,000 investigation. They did it in Sandusky. They do it in all sorts of scandals, and, we're going to implement these changes. That's nonsense. The laws are on the books. They have not been enforced. And so as a result, people need to be charged.
Well,
this is...
Liz, this is one of the I just want to run this by you because as a CPS parent, they released this, email blast of what they're doing to protect our kids. CPS says they're going to be beginning to conduct background checks for current employees on a periodic basis. So how is that going to be effective? They should run a background check on everyone. Start of the new school year, go get fingerprinted, fill out this paperwork, have a nice summer. We'll see you back here in the fall, maybe, maybe not, depending on, if you've had any arrests while you've been a teacher.
Exactly, Amy. And as parents, we expect a higher standard for our teachers who have our children 8 hours a day. And, and periodically, that's unacceptable. Look, the only fix is that the parents need to get organized and demand accountability, demand responsibility, and that Every single administrator that did not report in those 700 cases that did not report to law enforcement or DCFS these allegations, they should be fired and charged under the abuse ANCRA, what we call ANCRA, the Abuse Child Reporting Act in Illinois. I mean, the laws are on the books. We train school districts constantly on their mandated reporting responsibilities. Teachers are told going through a course. What good is it if the administrators are not reporting these abusers? And if there are 700 allegations, I would imagine that they're triple that. Children don't want to come forward. We know that. Oftentimes in child abuse cases, it's 20, 30 years before they come forward about abuse as a child, especially in a school setting. And, this is a national scandal. This is happening in the rich school districts. We saw it in Lake Bluff, where the school district allowed a predatory teacher to resign, and he moved to California and taught for 30 years in California.
Yeah.
So, this is happening on a wide basis, and this has got to be a wake-up call for parents and school districts, and no legal firm doing a top-bottom review should put anybody to any kind of sense of consolation that anything's going to change.
Yeah, but I take it one step higher than the administrators. You have to start with the civilian political authorities when you're talking about public school districts, because the rot starts at the top. I mean, you've seen it in the last 24 hours with Rahm Emanuel, where he, kind of gives some blanket apology, but not exactly accepts responsibility, while then he offloads responsibility on Janice Jackson.
Nice.
And this is a series of reports now, just in the last week of Tribune. There was the CPS having its special education programs taken over by the state.
Mm-hmm.
There's a CPS custodial contract, multi-million-dollar contract that was given a failing grade, roaches and rodents crawling through the schools, but the company nevertheless received a contract expansion from the schools that are under Rahm Emanuel's control, and now this blockbuster report of systemic sexual abuse. It starts at the top. The system is not designed for the kids. It's designed to be a third-party administrator to distribute salaries and benefits for the adults, and so the adults cover for the adults because that's what the system is designed to do.
Right. That's right. I was so offended by his comment. What are we going to do going forward? Going forward? Well, first of all, there's a political solution going forward, in my opinion. Secondly, how about looking back and finding out all the failures in the system? And, isn't it true, Dan, all the politicians, first things out of their mouth is take care of our kids.
Everything's for the kids.
Everything's for the kids. And then when they get caught, knowing that nothing was for the kids, and what are we going to do going forward? Oh, okay, so we'll just forget, forget the past. If we forget the past, what's going to happen is that this will continue to happen, as it has for decades in the Chicago public school system, and I would venture to guess in every school district in Illinois, because the leadership is not demanding that children are protected. And, whether it's in the schools, whether it's in the Boy Scouts, whether it's in the churches, wherever it is, children need to be protected. And so many of our societal problems come from children who are sexually and physically abused, then come into the system and have lives of chaos and criminality.
Yeah, they become abusers, some of them do, because that's learned behavior.
The adults don't protect them. So, enough of this posturing, and start taking responsibility and start saying, I'll tell you, if there are administrators who start getting charged criminally, things are going to change. Only then. If politicians are going to be held responsible, things are going to change.
But let me ask you this, Liz. I mean, DCFS is one of the agencies to which you're required to report along with the police. But DCFS's record is at best uneven as well when it comes to child welfare. So from your experience as general counsel there, how confident should people, including school administrators, be that DCFS will do their job?
My recommendation is always to call DCFS and the police department. in the jurisdiction where the schools are. You need as many adult eyes who have concern for the children investigating these cases. Some of these cases, quite frankly, are crimes. And so as a result, I would prefer to have law enforcement investigating criminal activity. So as many authorized agencies looking at these cases, after all, they're children. I mean, shouldn't we move? And oftentimes what happens is in the midst of a DCFS investigation, the teacher disappears, is able to resign, and then the case is closed. And so as a result, we really need to engage law enforcement. And quite frankly, law enforcement has always thought that child abuse cases are kind of the bottom rung. In fact, we as a public need to demand that these are our highest priorities. Our children need to be protected, and these predators need to be thrown in jail. I mean, these guys who are abusing kids in CPS schools, they don't stop. They continue their activity wherever they go. I mean, we know that about child abuse. Until they're 6 feet under the ground or behind locked bars, they don't stop.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, at this point, it's so frustrating. At this point in our society, so-called enlightened society, we're still having this major scandal involving not protecting children while they're at school.
Right.
So, I mean, I plead with the parents. Amy, I was really impressed with, the way that you were advocating on behalf of kids. You always do, is that the parents need to take control and demand accountability, and heads have got to roll from the top bottom.
Liz Yore, former general counsel for DCFS and Oprah Winfrey's child advocate attorney. Liz, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your perspective.
Thank you, Dan and Amy.
Thank you, Liz. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Chicago? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Chicago area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Chicago is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
The following is a paid announcement.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Grow My Retirement.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on working with couples in their late 50s to early 60s, preparing them to retire with confidence. But Bill, what does it actually mean to retire with confidence?
Mike, isn't that what we all need and want? To be able to retire with confidence. This is what I talk about with people every day. You want to be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to take the grandkids on vacation. You want to know that you're not going to run out of money. You want to know that you can leave a legacy. It's all good stuff. But Mike, retirement is a really, really long time. We could be retired for 20, 25, 30 years. Basically, that's how we define unemployment, going a long period of time without a paycheck. So how do you do that? How do you retire with confidence? The key to retiring with confidence is you want to create dependable, sustainable income in your portfolio that's going to last you for the rest of your life. Nothing's perfect, but when you're in retirement and the next big downturn comes along, you want to be able to sleep at night and know that you're okay. And you should actually work on creating more income than what you need. If you have more income than what you need in retirement, you'll know how you're going to pay your bills, go on a trip, take care of the grandkids. You'll know that you're not going to run out of money. And you'll know that you're going to be able to leave a legacy. And folks, that's retiring with confidence. Mike, I know you're going to talk about this in just a moment, but for the next 5 couples who call in today who have at least $500,000 in their retirement portfolio. We're going to do on a complementary basis a full-blown retirement plan for them. We're going to work with them on how to set up a plan so they know how to protect what they have, so they know how to create a dependable, sustainable income stream, and so they know maybe for the first time ever have that confidence to know that they have a game plan to move themselves into retirement.
Bill, this is a fantastic opportunity because, folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh boy, things just got strange for this Trump-Kim Jong-un summit.
Stranger. They're scheduled to meet June 12th, of course, in Singapore.
And guess who's arriving the day before, Dan? The Worm. Dennis Rodman will be there. You remember Dennis Rodman? He's met Kim Jong-un twice.
My God, what am I getting out of this? I'm going over there out of my kindness of my heart just to try to help. And next thing you know, I come back. Wow, why'd I do that so bad? I'm not here to sit there and say, okay, I gotta be.
So, with that being said, and seeing you get emotional, do you think these trips you've taken have been worth all the criticism?
Absolutely. I think it's worth it.
Because he would go there and bring some of his friends. They'd play basketball in front of Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, he loves the little guy. He gets emotional about it.
He's his widow friend.
He can't quit Kim Jong-un.
Why can't I quit you? So, yeah, we'll see. According to the New York Post, Dennis Rodman may play a part in this, some role in this negotiation between the United States.
They're meeting
North
at
Korea.
Sentosa Island, so that would be like Rodman could play Ricardo Montalban, and Kim Jong-un could be Hervé Villachez when Trump arrives.
The plane is here, the presidential plane. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll switch gears and talk tariff tensions with Steve Moore at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, let's start there. Mexico this morning says it's levying tariffs on billions of dollars worth of American goods in response to President Trump's sanctions on steel and aluminum. The tariffs will hit American pork, apples, potatoes, and cheese. November election ballots are set in 8 states after yesterday's biggest primary day of the year so far. Voters cast primary ballots in Alabama, California, Iowa, South Dakota, New Jersey. And in one of the most closely watched races, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, easily advanced Tuesday to the general election. But the major surprise, Republican business executive John Cox coming in second. Facebook admits it does share some user data with 4 Chinese electronics companies. New York Times reporting the agreements allow the companies to get information about users' work, education, and relationship history. Officials say a wide, slow-moving river of lava in the southeast corner of Hawaii's Big Island has now destroyed hundreds more homes. Yesterday was the most destructive day since the Kilauea volcano began erupting more than a month ago. Officials in Guatemala say nearly 200 are missing after Sunday's volcanic eruption. The sudden eruption of the Fuego volcano has killed dozens. A Hickory Hills man is accused of killing his wife in their southwest suburban home. Czeslaw Sipior is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Maria Sipior. A suburban Highland Park man is accused of trying to lure a 12-year-old girl from a school bus stop in Niles last fall. Arthur Zingman was charged with attempted kidnapping last month in connection with the incident that happened October of 2017. And an elderly Illinois woman from Elgin is planning to fight a request from that city to remove an Impeach President Trump Now sign from her yard. A code compliance officer asked Myra Becker to take down the sign on Monday, saying it was too big. If the sign isn't removed, Becker faces a $50 fine. Chicago sports, Phillies beat the Cubs 6-1. White Sox earned a split of their doubleheader with the Twins at Target Field, topping the Twins 6-3 in the nightcap after falling in the opener 4-2. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil full synthetic motor oil are just $23.99, plus a $10 mail-in rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. General States prices do not include applicable state or in local taxes or recycling fees. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes there's lots of layers to the canceling of Roseanne.
I'm angry at her for the stupidity of this tweet. I'm angry but not surprised at the pathetic attempt to link a Roseanne tweet to President Trump. It shouldn't be unexpected. They jumped on that bandwagon over at CNN in a heartbeat.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
7:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing southbound delays now in the tri-state. First from Washington to 176, then from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound, it's heavy from Cicero to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. But Adams Tollway stop and go lead to the tri-state. Reagan Tollway in pockets from 53 to the Myers Toll, then it's slow 83 to the tri-state. Northbound Veterans Memorial, out to St. Charles. Army Trail Toll to 290. Aiden's 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, halfbound 30. Kennedy, an hour and 3 minutes. O'Hare to downtown is crashed. The covered tunnel now clearing. The Eisenhower's an hour and 7 minutes. 390 to the Circle. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 38 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of account temps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, It's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting finance professionals on a temporary or project basis, and fast. Call today, Accountemps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, should see a warmer day ahead. Sunshine in Chicago with a high near 79. Currently, we have 54. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, well, Howard Schultz, the chairman of Starbucks, who stepped down this week, was on CNBC talking about his company, talking about the American economy, talking about his possible political aspirations, a lot of rumors that he may be interested in running as a Democratic candidate for president in 2020. Here's what Howard Schultz had to say about his party.
I will say that it concerns me that so many voices within the Democratic Party are going so far to the left. And I ask myself, how are we going to pay for all these things in terms of things like single payer or people espousing the fact that the government is going to give everyone a job? I don't think that's realistic. And I think we've got to get away from all of these falsehoods and start talking about the truth and not false promises.
I'll tell you what, it's not something I say a lot, but I agree with Howard Schultz about that, and I have the same concern, except it's that the Republican Party is going too far to the left. And a specific example of this at present, and by the Republican Party, that starts with well, I'm talking about the national level. That starts with President Trump. One example of this is this trade war that is in its infancy and may not fully metastasize, but is uncomfortable right now. And Larry Kudlow, as great a guy as he is, doesn't seem like he's getting the best of the Peter Navarro, Robert Lighthizer and Wilbur Ross troika in the White House. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Steve Moore, CNN chief economist and Wall Street Journal columnist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. So what about the developments since the imposition of the tariffs on steel and aluminum on Mexico and Canada last week? And now we get Canada responding in part and Mexico responding yesterday with $3 billion in tax increases on American goods.
Yeah. Well, a couple of thoughts here. I mean, first of all, Larry Kudlow is fighting the good fight here, but he is outnumbered over in this White House. And you know, my line to the president, I talked to him a few weeks ago about this, is, look, everything is going so well with the U.S. economy right now. I don't know if you guys saw the lead story in the Wall Street Journal this morning that for the first time in 40 years, there are more jobs than there are people to fill them in America, which is an amazingly good problem to have. But, you know, the economy is just firing in all cylinders. We have a surplus of jobs. We have, well, the economy is growing at 4.5% now, which is amazing. That in 8 years, Obama never got us there. So, you know, why upset this apple cart with tariffs? It's one thing if we were losing jobs, but we have more jobs than we can handle. And it's very predictable that some of these other countries would retaliate. You're seeing that with the EU, as you just mentioned, Canada as well. Incidentally, you know, I know you up there in those northern states are very worried about Canada, you know, all these goods coming in from Canada. But the truth is we actually have we don't have a trade deficit with Canada. You know, the NAFTA has worked very well. And so I'm very frustrated by this. This will be a tax on American consumers, as Milton Friedman taught us. Dan and Amy, you guys know this. Remember this one? Tariffs are taxes. And so American consumers will pay more.
Well, and so just one follow-up to that. So what about the idea that Kudlow communicated yesterday that of negotiating separate trade arrangements with Mexico and Canada rather than doing this with the two countries or the three countries, including us, combined as a quicker way to get to a deal?
Well, look, I'm a huge fan of NAFTA. I think NAFTA has been, there's been some problems with NAFTA, no question, and you do need to, you need to modernize it after 25 years, but it's been good for the entire continent. And when you think about the next 25 years ahead, it's really going to be, what continent is going to be the world superpower? Will it be Europe? Will it be Asia? Or will it be North America? And, we have so much in common with Canada and Mexico that it's really preposterous to try to blow that thing up. And I hope that doesn't happen. By the way, I would make one other point, which is, I've said this before on your show. I do think China is a big problem. I think China is moving in the wrong direction. They're moving away from freedom. They are becoming more communist again. There's more state-owned ownership of their companies. They are cheating. They are stealing. They are saber-rattling in terms of building their military, arming the North Koreans. I mean, there's nothing to like about what's happening in China these days. And so we should be very tough with them. But if you're going to, one of the lessons of history is you don't want to fight a four-front war. If we're going to get tough with China, we need Germany, we need Canada, we need Japan, and these other countries on our side.
Yeah, but they're not going to be on our side if we set these.
Antagonized them.
But, right, we did. We just antagonized. So why not just have the tariff war with China and leave Germany, leave Mexico, Canada, our allies, out of this?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
Okay, well, talk to your best man, Larry Kudlow.
Well, that's the thing. That's what we've been advising, Trump to do exactly that. And that it's probably.
Hello? Oh, did you step into a
no,
hole? Was it the question?
I think Trump.
I believe is now
there he
the
is.
enemy,
He's back.
which is, and it's just not a very smart strategy. Now, I will say this: I do think that this, we're talking about, the third inning of a baseball game, and this is all, with everything with Trump. As I've said many times on the show, you have to understand it's all about the art of the deal. And he's putting these threats of tariffs out there as a way to get leverage with these other countries to reduce their tariffs. And by the way, if he can pull that off, it will be a benefit to everybody. And he does have a point, Dan and Amy, that virtually every other country has higher tariffs on American goods than we have on the goods that come into this country.
Well, yeah, but as you know, that's hardly an argument. So they're punishing their consumers, so we should punish ours, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay. But look, you're making an argument, Dan, for sort of unilateral free trade. We should just open our markets to anybody who wants to sell stuff here. And look, Milton Friedman would be in agreement with you on that. But I would, I'm not so sure there's a political consensus for that right now. I mean, I think when you look at China in particular, I mean, it's extremely difficult for American businessmen and women to penetrate the China market. And then you have to give up your technologies, you have to give up your patents, and you're competing against state-owned enterprises. It's just not a level playing field. I think Trump has a point there. And look, I know, Dan, your heart is palpitating. You think I'm not a free trader anymore. I am for free trade, but it's hard to have free trade when all these other countries, especially China, are keeping our goods out.
Well, Facebook has been able to penetrate the Chinese market, apparently, and illicitly so, including giving private access to user data to a telecom company in China that was flagged by American intelligence agencies as a national security threat. Facebook is, and some of our social media giants, sort of problematic. And I wonder how you respond to some of the concerns that have been leveled from D.C. politicians about, Google searches where Nazism comes up when you Google the California Republican Party, and Twitter censoring, quote unquote, censoring Drudge, and some of this information about Facebook user data access to both device makers as well as foreign countries. Is this something that is the proper province of the federal government? Devin Nunes has hinted at more federal hearings on the topic. Is that something that you think is appropriate?
Yeah, I do think it's a problem. And, it gets to the point I was making earlier, Dan, which is, China is becoming a more closed society. I mean, we have 30 years of China moving towards freedom, both political freedom and economic freedom. It's amazing. If you want to see the the virtues of free markets over, communism, socialism, Bernie Sandersism, whatever you want to call it. Look at what happened in China in the 1980s, 90s, and the last decade. I mean, China grew and grew and grew, one of the great miracles of history. But for the last 6 or 7 years, they've been moving in the wrong direction. You're seeing instead of privatization, you're seeing socialization of their industries. You are seeing more and more political repression there. And infringements on they're censoring things like Facebook and others. That's a big problem. I mean, I do worry that China may be going back in the direction of the Soviet Union, not marching down the freedom road that we all hoped that they would.
Well, then, speaking of China, what do you think about this Reuters report on a preliminary deal with the Chinese telecom giant ZTE? They pay $1 billion in fines for, stealing American technology, plus $400 million more in escrow to cover future violations. And apparently, according to Trump trade advisors, China is offering to import another $70 billion of American goods if America helps to prop up their telecom giant ZTE.
Well, the ZTE thing was a disaster. I think Trump made a big misplay there. ZTE is a bad company. It has been stealing our technologies and so on, and they deserve the kind of penalties. By the way, it was Trump who imposed the penalties in the first place on ZTE. It didn't happen under Obama. It happened under Trump. I think he made a misstep there. And so, we'll see how that evolves. On this issue of China now saying, well, we'll buy more, stuff from you.
Yeah.
What they're really saying is, I talked to some of the trade reps yesterday over at the White House. They're saying, well, what they want to buy from us is our oil, which is fine, but that's not the thing that we want them to buy. We want them to buy our our high value-added products, which is not what they're proposing to do. Those are the kinds of things they have very high, high tariffs on. And one of the things to think about, I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but just think about this. We were selling steel and, and other kinds of military, devices and so on to the Germans in the 30s on the eve of World War II. And I wonder whether, we're going to be doing that with respect to China because their military is growing at an enormous pace, and they are saber rattling in the China South Sea. What happens if they invade Taiwan, or what if they move into India? And it's amazing that they're moving into all these islands all over the Asian region. I'm very worried about what's going on there, and we better wake up to the new China threat.
All right, he is Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, Heritage Foundation economist, and chief economist for CNN. Steve, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a great week. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, Bill Clinton continues on his tour. This time he's on late night TV. Does he blame President Obama for his wife's loss? We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast. Warmer today. We have plenty of sunshine right now. Some high clouds rolling through here later today, a high near 80. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 64. And for tomorrow, we have partly sunny skies with a passing shower or thunderstorm in spots, a high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Amy, you're inbound Kennedy's heavier now. It's an hour O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 54 minutes at the airport. Eden's 22 minutes Lake Cook Junction. There's a rollover dump truck. Ramp to eastbound Dempster, though the ramp is open. Outbound 34 minutes to Lake Cook. Eisenhower, an hour and 18 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour and 8 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 18, 355 to the drive. Outbound 52 minutes. Ryan is 44 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollways are pretty heavy. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Some people say, oh, my basement only leaks when it rains. Well, would it be acceptable if your living room got wet? Then why do you want to worry about your basement? Permaseal believes that your basement should be dry all of the time, no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. Give Permaseal a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate and transferable warranties, so you can rest assured you're getting the best value. Back in 1979, Roy Spencer started Permaseal, and it's still a local Chicagoland business whose purpose is to make the world a better place, one basement or crawl space at a time. Your basement is already dry some of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The rapid evolution of technology and industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions that give manufacturers a competitive advantage, from ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals. While improving the lives of everybody on the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small, local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems is why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For more information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you can either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you can call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for upstream-ideas.com. If Roseanne gets canceled, so should Samantha Bee. Who? It's someone you've never heard of, who has a show you've never seen, who said something vile about Ivanka. Oh, okay, yeah, fire what's-her-name, too. And if Bob Iger is going to apologize to Valerie Jarrett, when is he going to apologize to President Trump? Who? For what? He's a network executive you've never heard of, whose opinion you otherwise find irrelevant, who employs on-air personalities who have said profane and ignorant things about POTUS without consequence. Okay, yeah, apologize. Empty outrage is not synonymous with standing up for yourself or putting in the fight for others. It's just an uninspired substitute for having standards. What Valerie Jarrett termed a teaching moment during one of MSNBC's signature hastily assembled bigot-baiting town halls is actually a trap for conservatives. Jarrett wants you to give in to the left's lack of principles by abandoning yours. Outrage one-upmanship is a two-player game, you see. So ask yourself, do you think we beat them by joining them? Or is the move to be who they say they are but are not, and in so doing give lie to who they say we are and are not?
When you purchase an alarm system, you do it for one reason above all others. You need to know something about the people or property under your care. Knowing that what matters most will be looked after by professionals when you can't be there is a comforting feeling. At Alarm Detection Systems, we've learned a great deal from our decades of service. We know how to treat customers on the phone. We know that installing quality security products using certified technicians is the only way to go. We know that same-day service and local monitoring will provide the safety and peace of mind you're looking for. You no longer have to wonder if your home or business is protected by your alarm system. Know that it is. At home or on the go, the information you seek is right in your hands. It's good to be in the know. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300 or online at adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. A bit of a credit crunch since the recession on the self-employed, the owner-operator of a business. And Ryan, I wonder how you effort to cater to the entrepreneurial set.
You know, what a great question. And I'm a business owner, and there's a lot of us out there. It doesn't matter if you're one person or if you have 200 employees. As an independent contractor or a business owner, you like to write off every expense you can, and you should. You should write off your marketing, your part-time assistants, your staff. The problem in the past has been when you do take advantage of your tax write-offs and you bring your income down on your tax returns, lenders have been denying you for the mortgage, and that's just crazy. So we rolled out our new loan program. It's called the Bank Statement Mortgage. If you are an independent contractor, self-employed borrower, or own a business, I don't even need your tax returns anymore. In fact, I don't need pay stubs, W-2s, K-1s, or 1099s. I qualify you with your bank statements. Apply online for your bank statement mortgage today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
AM 560, The Answer.
There's a tale of two events coming up the end of next week. Parkland teenage gun banners are coming to Naperville. June 16th at 6 p.m., the DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church is hosting.
Is this a traveling show?
17 is hosting Jax West. Oh, no, the Lyle activist Jax West is the individual who was reached out to by one of the Parkland students, and then they set this up. The Students' Road to Change bus tour will stop in Chicago June 15th for a peace march with teenagers from St. Sabina. Then it'll move to the suburbs of the town hall in Naperville and a car wash fundraiser with some students from Downers Grove North High School. Now, on the flip side, on June 16th, competing events.
It's the Stormy Daniels event.
It'd be interesting to see, you know, if you could go to both and see what you take away from the two.
All right.
Maj Toure, who we talked to, I should say, last week from Black Guns Matter.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a June 16th event at the conference, Chicago conference at the University Center, where he's educating urban dwellers about guns, gun safety, protecting yourself. So what do you think? The car wash or the Unitarian Church in Naperville with the Parkland teenage gun banners?
I'd like to go to
or
both.
Maj Toure's event. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you. You go to the Unitarian Church. That's not similar to your church.
That's
and
your
I'll go
turf.
to Maj's event.
Yeah, we can switch. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, David will be here.
David Harsanyi from the Federalist at 8:08.
But first, I'm kidding. It's a joke now. Here's Mike Scott.
One killed, a firefighter hurt in a Southside blaze. Warmer day with a blend of sun and clouds. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
A second-place finish is good news for Republicans in California. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. It means there's one on the ballot for governor in November. More on yesterday's primaries from Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, a Democrat and Republican advanced out of California's jungle gubernatorial primary. Republican John Cox, who had the backing of President Trump, will take on progressive Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom.
The halftime score is looking very promising, and the home team is winning big.
A showdown is shaping up in Montana, where Republican State Auditor Matt Rosendale will try to oust Democratic incumbent Senator John Tester. In Alabama, GOP Representative Martha Roby is heading for a July runoff. There will also be a runoff among Democratic Senate candidates in Mississippi. DePick will take on Republican Roger Wicker. Chris?
Rachel, thanks. A venue's been chosen for next week's summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at the White House. Now Fox's John Decker.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders announced on Twitter that the president and Kim will meet for the first time at the five-star Capella Hotel on Singapore's Sentosa Island on June 12th at 9 a.m. local time. In just the past week, delegations from the U.S. and North Korea met 4 separate times to work out the logistics for the summit, including the venue. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe will meet with President Trump tomorrow to discuss Japan's security concerns ahead of the historic summit. Chris.
John Decker at the White House, where President Trump yesterday canceled a Super Bowl celebration with the Philadelphia Eagles, with only a few players planning to attend. Whoever wins the NBA Finals, Cleveland Cavaliers star LeBron James says the president needn't bother with the invitation.
It's, typical of him, and I don't know. I mean, I know no matter who wins this series, no one wants to invite anyway, so it won't be Golden State or Cleveland going.
Warriors star Steph Curry says he agrees. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up 100 points ahead of the closing opening bell. This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 54 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and a pleasant good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan are asking for the dismissal of a lawsuit filed by an ex-campaign worker who alleges her reporting of sexual harassment cost her a promotion in the Speaker's political organization. The request in federal court by the Illinois Democratic Party and Madigan-controlled campaign funds denies the allegations by the woman. She contends in her lawsuit her effort to stop Kevin Quinn's unwanted advances prevented her from getting further work on Democrat campaigns. A Hickory Hills man is accused of killing his wife in their southwest suburban home. Czeslaw Sipior is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Maria Sipior. The victim's husband was arrested early Sunday after officers discovered him with blood on his clothes and burns on his legs after a traffic stop in Michigan. Mayor Emanuel forced to apologize following criticism that he didn't do enough to help Chicago public school students who may have been sexually abused by school employees.
I take responsibility, and I've also apologized, and I will apologize like I expect every adult who has any role or responsibility.
A number of candidates challenging Emanuel in next year's mayoral election are blasting him over the Chicago Tribune report, including Lori Lightfoot, Paul Vallis, and former Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy. Phillies over the Cubs 6-1. The White Sox topped the Twins 6-3 to earn a split of their doubleheader at Target Field after dropping the opener 4-2. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has survived a shareholder attempt to remove him as chairman, and all three directors seeking to remain on Tesla's board were re-elected at the company's annual meeting in Mountain View, California. Musk says he expects Tesla to make a profit later this year. He's also predicting that soon it will reach its goal of delivering 5,000 Model 3 cars per week. Business was flat in the spring quarter for Signet, the parent company of Jared, Zales, Kay, and Piercing Pagoda. Signet says it also had expenses for restructuring. Shoppers returned to Victoria's Secret last month. Its parent company, L Brands, says sales at existing stores rose 5%. The company now says sales will be up for the current quarter. The company also includes Pink and Bath & Body Works. The Dow was down 13 yesterday, but the NASDAQ closed at a record up 31. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra-long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
It is 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound. The exit to eastbound Dempster is closed to clean up a rollover dump truck. It's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 34. Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 54 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 18 minutes, 390 to downtown. An hour from Mannheim, outbound an hour and 6 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour 18, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 52 minutes. Ryan is 46 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State delays are from 132 to Bradley and from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Cicero to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. The Adams Tollways will lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway Pockets from 53 to the Tri-State. Westbound jam York to before 83 and a vehicle fire blocking 3 right lanes. Northbound Veterans Royals, I-55 to St. Charles. The Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic service of account temps, payroll, bookkeeping, month end. You feeling short-staffed? Account temps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit accounttemps.com. Account Temps are Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, an AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sun and clouds, high 79, partly cloudy night, low 64. Then partial sunshine tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm spots during the day and into the evening. High again 79 later at night, remaining mostly cloudy with a low 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine in 54. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Could the Democrats be getting wise to their electoral problems? At least one may be onto something. He may have actually listened to what a lot of people who voted for Trump and voted to install Republican majorities in Congress have been saying for several years. He apparently has gotten his fill of leftist elitists, not named Obama, talking, of course, about Mr. Chris Matthews. The thrill is gone when it comes to leftist elitism. Listen to Matthews' diagnosis of the problem plaguing Democrats in 2018. This yesterday in Morning Joe.
A true Democrat, lowercase d, thinks they're no better than anybody else. That's what a Democrat is. And when the party regains that with white, black, Hispanic people, everybody starts to think of themselves as one of them instead of being better than them, they'll get back to the party of the people. And they're not there yet. There's too many elitisms. There's so much elitism in the Democratic Party. It's so outrageous. And it all comes down to the notion of the meritocracy being entirely academic based. You don't want to hear about a master plumber being an elite. He is, or she is, but it's all academic, and it's a game they've been playing with themselves, and it's self-saluting. And I'm telling you, the people feel it. There's a party going on, and they ain't invited to it. And that's a big part of this. It's not just economics. I don't buy the whole Marxist argument it's all about economics. It's not all about economics. It's about sensing that your leaders give a damn about you personally.
For more on this seeming cultural divide, we're pleased to be joined again by David Harsanyi, who is a nationally syndicated columnist and senior editor for The Federalist, thefederalist.com. Also his book, First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun, From the Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So what about Chris Matthews and that diagnosis?
I think he's right to some extent, but I mean, a lot of progressive politics and a lot of those ideas are about essentially dictating from the top down what Americans should be doing, how they should, what kind of energy they should be using, what they should be eating, and what kind of health care they need to have and where they need to go and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, there's also sort of, how do you say, like an aesthetic quality to at least Obama-style progressivism that is elitist. He's right. It's about, how many degrees you have, not sort of what you've accomplished elsewhere. So that is problematic for them. But I also think, there's a cultural element to it as well where, it's about where you live. Is it urban versus rural, that sort of thing. So, but I definitely think he's onto something.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because Gallup came out with its values and beliefs survey they do annually. And on the abortion question, what would you think, and you'll know the answer, but kind of for the general person, what do you think the average person thinks if they just watched the news produced by the D.C. Press Corps and its major urban allies, or what comes out of the kind of Hollywood and the other cultural mavens in terms of what the distribution of pro-life, pro-choice, not a moral issue is? Versus what it actually is, which is like 48% of the country thinks abortion is morally wrong, 43% doesn't, and a third thinks it's not a moral issue at all. But if you consumed what comes out of these institutions that are increasingly losing their legitimacy, you would think it's almost unanimous the other way.
Right. Abortion, in fact, I don't know what the latest polls are, but it was trending in a more pro-life way, especially when you start talking about later term abortions after 20 weeks, that sort of thing. I think a majority was for that ban. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, most Americans, I think, have sort of complicated feelings about it, and most Americans don't drive their entire vote, don't tether their entire vote to the abortion issue. But it is an issue that Democrats have basically gone extreme on for the most part. They want no limits. There's no limit that they would embrace, and I think many of them are fooled by the sort of coverage from Hollywood and elsewhere that most Americans agree with them. It's a really complicated issue, and that's just one of many that I think they've sort of been confused about.
Well, and I don't know if this is where Matthews is going, but this is where he's sort of in the right neighborhood at least. It's not that whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, it's the attitude for those with whom you disagree, right? So for the 48% that say abortion is morally wrong, they're a minority. And they're essentially, if you don't agree with our position, then you're a bigot of some sort. So pick abortion, particularly in the wake of the Masterpiece Cake Shop decision this week from the Supreme Court, religious liberty. If you're not on board with the leftist worldview, then you are a bigot of some sort, and that drives a lot of people away, even if you're not necessarily a conservative.
Right. I mean, the left has essentially stopped arguing. They've adopted this position where when you disagree with it, they treat their positions as if they were, rights, as if they were some sort of religious positions, and if you disagree with them, you're some sort of hater. You could be a racist, you might be homophobic, whatever it is. They no longer argue about the issue itself. They simply dismiss you. So there are a lot of people in this country who I imagine are religious, some sort of Orthodox faith, and they probably have some liberal inclinations, let's say when it comes to economics or whatever else, but they're completely turned off by the liberal dismissal of their belief system, their broader belief system, and I think that is an elitism, and it is problematic for them because there's still many religious people in this country.
Yeah, and religion's not bad. I always try to get my liberal friends to go to church with me. Like, come on, you like it. My pastor's liberal. But speaking of liberals, you recently wrote an article about celebrating how they celebrate higher gas prices. Why is that?
Well, I always laugh when liberals like Chuck Schumer or whoever else stand in front of, an Exxon sign at, it says $3.50 a gallon or something terrible of that nature. And then, complain about high gas prices. Every single policy that they support would artificially institute higher gas prices. They want higher gas prices. That's what cap and trade was about. It's a fabricated marketplace to make energy more expensive for Americans because they want you to use alternative sources. So to force you to do it. So it's just hypocritical of them to attack higher. First of all, prices aren't that high. I think they've already fallen. But it's just the hypocrisy. They want higher gas prices. That's exactly what they've been arguing for many years.
I want to go back to this, since I mentioned Masterpiece Cake Shop. You wrote a piece on the topic after the Supreme Court handed down its decision that gave a good over at thefederalist.com, that gave good perspective on the genesis of the case, as well as how it made its way through a challenge at the state level before the Supreme Court took it up. And because you started our conversation by talking about how the left is always kind of telling you what you can't do, what you can do, and how you can do it. And in the case of Masterpiece Cake, what you can't do as well, which is allow your religious liberty to influence your professional life. And so I wonder how you interpreted that Supreme Court decision, because there seems to be some disagreement among conservatives. Certainly there is me with like David French, who sees this as a watershed moment. And I think it is for Jack Phillips, but I'm not sure it is for religious liberty generally in this country.
Well, actually, I would use this as another example of how the media, in many ways, misrepresents something. So most people think, or many people I've encountered think this case was about Jack Phillips basically putting up a sign that says no gays allowed, right? I mean, that's how they view it in general, which is not the case at all. I went out there, I wrote a long piece, a feature piece about Jack and his shop and what had happened that day, and how his religious liberty and his artistic freedom and his freedom of expression was sort of crushed by an unelected government civil rights commission. As for the case itself, yeah, I mean, actually, since I wrote that piece, I've actually, the more I read, the less I like it. I just think it was so narrow. It was a personal victory for Jack Phillips, and that's wonderful. But I don't think it dealt with the question of religious liberty at all. Basically they told the Colorado Civil Rights Commission that if they need to be nicer when they're destroying someone's life. So
right.
Yeah, but didn't you feel any, optimism that it was a 7-2 decision instead of 5-4?
Not really, because what happens is, now you have a 7-2 decision that is narrower rather than a closer decision that would be broader. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a constitutional scholar or anything like that. But I've read it. I've read the decision twice, and I just feel that it doesn't really do anything for us. It just punts the case down, down the road. So I'm generally a skeptical person. Or I'm generally sort of curmudgeonly about these things. I don't think we're headed in the right direction in general. Listen, it's a victory for sure. There's, it could have gone the other way. That would have been worse in my estimation. But I just don't see how this really helps religious freedom in the long run.
Yeah, no,
it just basically gives civil rights commissions a blueprint on how to move forward, and basically it's just to couch all their bias in legalese, basically.
Well, right. I think that's exactly right, and it's basically an example of what Clarence Thomas warned in his dissent in Obergefell, which is you're going to have marriage redefinition run headlong into religious liberty, and what are we going to do? We're going to adjudicate every one of these cases, like the Masterpiece Cake Shop case, where was somebody overtly discriminatory or not, and it's hard to standard set when you redefine marriage out of existence.
Right. Well, first of all, people might not know this because the media rarely mentions it, but gay marriage wasn't even legal in Colorado when this happened. In fact, it was illegal because they had passed an initiative in the state. But more than that, now basically courts have to decide, they have to read figure out the intent of the commissions, read their minds, and read the minds of the people involved in these cases. It's just no way to adjudicate law at all.
He is David Harsanyi, nationally syndicated columnist, senior editor for TheFederalist.com. His most recent book, First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun, From Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, former President Bill Clinton trying to continue to try and dig himself out of that hole. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine right now. Just a beautiful, refreshing day. It's going to be sunny most of the time. A few high clouds by the afternoon. A high near 80 degrees tonight. A low of 64. And for tomorrow, partly sunny. We have a slight chance of a passing shower or thunderstorm in spots. A high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. What do you have for us, Jim Talamonte?
I got some traffic problems on the Edens, Amy. Dan, inbound, the exit to eastbound Dempster is closed. Trying to clean up a rollover dump truck crash. Outbound, there's a crash before Toohey. It's 40 minutes to get from Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy, 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown takes longer in the express. Outbound 42 minutes. Eisenhower, hour 11, 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour. Stevenson running an hour and 14 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 45 minutes. Ryan, 46 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford Heavy 2 at 45 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Delays on the Reagan Tollway eastbound 355 to 83, actually 355 all the way to the Tri-State. Westbound York to be 483. There's a vehicle fire and 3 right lanes are blocked westbound. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, parents, grandparents out there want to turn your son into a young man, a productive member of society, then I suggest sending them to St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee. It's a place that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence, academic, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and the military traditions that have been shaping young minds since 1884. We got to go on a tour of the campus. It's a beautiful place. It looks like the set, a movie set. And it's not for juvenile delinquents. There's kids from all over the country and all over the world, and they are very well-behaved, fine young gentlemen. They serve grades 7 to 12. There's boarding or day boarding. And big announcement, they are going full co-ed this summer. So that all of that is being offered to young ladies as well. And as a mom, I want you to know that if I did choose a military boarding school, it would encompass the values that I look for. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy is happening now. Peyton and Eli are ready to go the 3rd week of July. So go to sjnma.org. Check out, there's a video there that explains all the fun that they'll have for the summer camp, and then as well as year-round schooling, and it'll point you to the application process. But space is limited, so act now. The website, again, is sjnma.org, or call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET.
I've been suffering from depression for about 45 years. I've probably been on 5 to 6 different antidepressants. And even when they did work, there was that underlying feeling of depression. And it would never go away. Just call one of the treatment centers and just talk to the psychiatrist or doctor, and you'll be on your way. I'm Christy. I'm a wife and a mother and a real estate broker, and I no longer suffer from depression.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
You've heard about the Coin Show. Now you need to make plans to go. Find out what collectors and investors have known for years. It's fun, full of history, and it can be a great investment. Make plans to attend the Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show. It's one of the largest in the nation, and it's free. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show is at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Today through Saturday. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers and displays. The best coin dealers from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars. U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and much more. Find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show. Today through Saturday at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Remember, admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Get more information at chicagocoinshow.com. That's chicagocoinshow.com.
Men, are you tired of those daily blue enhancement pills that take days, weeks, or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now you can take Red, the new natural male empowerment pill that works on demand. Even your partner will notice the difference the very first time you use it. To prove Red won't disappoint like the others, you're invited to participate in our nationwide I Take Red Partner Reaction Guarantee Trial. We're seeking participants for this nationwide trial, not only to prove it works the very first time you try it. We guarantee your partner will also notice the difference. Forget those slow-acting blue pills and join those who proudly take Red. Over 50,000 pills have already been claimed and supplies are limited. So to ensure your participation in this free nationwide trial, you must call now.
Superior virility on demand. You only need to take Red once to see what all the fuss is about. Call immediately to participate in our free nationwide trial. Call 800-658-0723. 800-658-0723. Be one of thousands to proudly say, I take Red. 800-658-0723.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumweedy to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications. So your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. 630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So Bill Clinton, still pushing that book of his. He's trying to dig himself out of the hole that he created when he was on the Today Show and he got hot and bothered under the collar because they asked him about apologizing to Monica Lewinsky. And here we go again. I think this is round 3.
On Colbert.
But I didn't like this one because it started with an assertion that basically I had never apologized, as if I had never tried to come to grips with it, and as if there had been no attempt to hold me accountable, which anybody who lived through that and knew the facts knew wasn't so. Nonetheless, I realized, hey, there are a lot of people that don't have any memory of that, and all they saw was me mad, and I seemed to be tone deaf, to put it mildly. So last night when I was at my event, we did an event in Harlem with Walter Mosley. I asked to say something about it because I think it's important. People need to know. I apologize. I meant it then. I mean it now. I've lived with the consequences, and I still support Me Too. And I think we all need to keep trying to be doing better. And I would never dispute that.
Fantastic. What do you think of round 3 here?
Which is the most tedious, mendacious book tour, James Comey's or Bill Clinton's? I can't decide. First of all, yes, there was an effort to hold you to account, but you weren't part of that effort. Right. That's sort of an important point. And the apology, as he mentioned in that event at Harlem that he referenced, was to a assembled group of ministers in the White House. They're bringing in the spiritual advisors to apologize to them. And I love the question about, it's a question about your personal failings, your personal misconduct, and the response is we all need to do better. I love, you take away personal accountability by just talking globally about how, we're all sinners, we all need to do better. Yes, that's true. We're talking specifically about what you did, though.
And he said later he was disappointed with his own bad behavior. When asked about, isn't that great?
A great one.
It's a great one to reflect.
You know what my biggest disappointment
was? Me disappointing myself.
I failed to live up to my standards.
Right. And quickly, this is about Obama. And could Obama have done more to help his wife become president?
President Obama, I think he did a really good job, but I think he could have done even more if all of us who voted in 2008 and 2012 for him had also voted in 2010 and 2014. And I think that...
no, they did. They just voted for Republicans.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is it okay for Trump to spy on his Democrat opponent in 2020 or... 2024 when he hands the baton to Mike Pence. We'll ask Victor Davis Hanson at 8:38.
And later, how to process loss. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 55 degrees. Mexico is targeting billions of dollars worth of American goods with tariffs in response to President Trump's sanctions on steel and aluminum. Tariffs are hitting $3 billion worth of American pork, apples, potatoes, cheese, and bourbon. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is canceling most of the Senate's annual August recess.
Pass individual appropriation bills. In order to do that and in order to deal with this nominations backlog, it's necessary for us to be here in August and to do our work.
The Kentucky Republican accusing Democrats of historic obstruction of Senate business. Officials in Guatemala say nearly 200 are missing after Sunday's volcanic eruption. An elderly man is dead following a house fire. It broke out early this morning on Chicago's south side near 118th and Perry. Another person who jumped from that blazing building is doing fine. Lawyers for Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are asking for the dismissal of a lawsuit filed by an ex-campaign worker who alleges her reporting of sexual harassment cost her promotion in the Speaker's political organization. A second former Wheaton College football player is taking a plea deal to end the hazing charges against him. Kyler Kriegel pleaded guilty yesterday to misdemeanor battery. He will not serve any jail time. Governor Rauner is sidestepping the question of whether President Trump should grant clemency to former Governor Rod Blagojevich. Rauner saying he has nothing to add to that debate over the commutation of Blagojevich's 14-year sentence for corruption. And there's a big reveal this week. IHOP is changing its name. Pancake chain tweeting out that it will change its name from IHOP to IHOB this week. Tweet didn't say what the B in IHOB stands for, but promised a big reveal on June 11th, and I think you can figure that one out. Chicago sports, Phillies over the Cubs 6-1. White Sox top the Twins 6-3, earning a split of their double dip at Target Field after dropping the opener 4-2. The news, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes there's lots of layers to the canceling of Roseanne.
I'm angry at her for the stupidity of this tweet. I'm angry but not surprised at the pathetic attempt to link a Roseanne tweet to President Trump. It shouldn't be unexpected. They jumped on that bandwagon over at CNN in a heartbeat.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. The ride to work from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens exit ramp to eastbound Dempster is closed. Clean up a rollover truck crash. It's 19 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 35 after a crash before Toohey. Kennedy, 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose. 46 on the Express. Outbound 48 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown. 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound, an hour and 9 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour 14, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 45 minutes. Orion, 50 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, 40, 8094 to Merge. Southbound Tri-State slow, 21 to Everett. The Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st. The Reagan Tollway to Lawrence and Deptford Central. And on the northbound Veterans Memorial, it's heavy. Boughton to St. Charles and the Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Warmer day ahead, sun and clouds, and a high of 79. Currently 58 degrees. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. The best company picnics come from TastyCatering.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Dan and Amy, we've got bigger matters to address, but I'm a little bit perplexed by IHOP.
Turning into IHOB.
IHOB.
This is a great PR
International
stunt.
House of Pancakes now becoming International House of Bacteria?
No, International House of Breakfast.
Oh, breakfast, of course.
So maybe if you want to watch the carb intake, which I'm sure you're very concerned about these days.
Well, it's just a name
then you-
change. It's not a menu change.
Well, no, but it's letting people know that there's other thing than just pancakes on the
Was
menu.
anybody confused that you could only get pancakes at International House of Pancakes?
Yeah, I thought it was pancakes only, but they have omelets and everything you can imagine. Now I'm hungry. I'm getting hangry.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we got that squared
Yes.
away. Yesterday, California primary, and this remarkable result, particularly from an Illinois perspective, we've talked about this. John Cox, businessman, finishing second place, ahead of the former mayor of L.A., Villagrosa, behind Gavin Newsom, of course, the lieutenant governor, former mayor of San Francisco.
Former Kimberly Guilfoyle's husband.
Yeah,
Ex-husband,
right, the former Mr. Guilfoyle. So John Cox was sort of a perennial also-ran candidate in Illinois for the better part of the first decade of this century.
Oh, yeah.
He moves to California, and now he's, in fact, the Republican nominee for governor of that state. It's wild. I think it also probably says something about the state of the Republican Party in California. But is perhaps maybe there's the prospect for a watershed moment in California? No pun intended, since they're cracking down on the ability of Californians to use water. But you've got that, plus attacks from the left on California public policy. We mentioned it this week, this piece by Michael Schellenberger in Forbes, from a progressive perspective, saying, number one in poverty, California isn't our most progressive state, it's our most racist one. Could something be interesting afoot? Well, no better person to ask than a California denizen himself. He's our friend Victor Davis Hanson, a noted historian, National Review columnist, senior fellow at the Hoover Institute, and most recent book, The Second World Wars, How the First Global Conflict Was Fought and Won. Victor Davis Hanson, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So am I being a bit quixotic in suggesting that there's the possibility for a new day to dawn in California?
Not at all. I think it's a kind of a work in progress. I don't know if we're going to make it this year, but what's happening is that the so-called lower middle classes are starting to wake up that they pay the highest income sales gas tax, and their schools are rated, I think, 46th on test scores in the nation. The infrastructure was rated by Forbes dead, I think it was 49th after Mississippi. Well, only Mississippi was worse. And then we have 1/5 of the nation's poverty, 1/3 of all welfare recipients. But then what's weird about it is it's medieval. So the coastal corridor from San Diego to Berkeley, we have the most billionaires in the United States. We have some of the wealthiest counties, and we have this elite that runs the state, the Facebook, the Google, Stanford, Caltech, UCLA, all the big Hollywood, and they they're never subject to the ramifications of their own ideology. So they don't want dams, but they want HHU water. They don't want cheap energy or affordable energy, but they live in the 70 degree weather. And the rest of the state, the other quarter and population, is angry about that. But what's also happening is people in that corridor can't buy a house. It's about $1,000 a square foot. And they won't build homes because the people who have their homes don't want neighbors. And as far as the charge of racism, it's kind of accurate because these people, if you go into Atherton or Beverly Hills or Malibu or Santa Monica, you start to see they have big walls around their homes, and they put their kids in these private academies that are sprouting in Silicon Valley like it's 1965 Alabama, and people are, fleeing the recently segregated schools. And yet, what's weird about it is they're all for open borders, and they're all for these radical identity politics policies that are there for high-speed rail, or they're for cutting off water, or they're for wind and solar, no natural gas production. And those consequences fall on Mexican-American people, poor white people, but not the people who advocate that. And people are waking up to that.
Do you think that any of them feel guilty about their wealth, that's why they're leaning left so much, because they're like, oh, we should give. That's what, the Bible teaches, to give unto others who don't have as much. I mean, is that a possibility?
That would be a charitable possibility. There's two more cynical interpretations, and one is it's just they are selfish, and much of their money is in capital gains. It's not subject to the same rate of taxes, or they have really good tax lawyers, so they can get around the ramifications of all their ideology. And the other is sort of psychologically, they don't feel comfortable with Mexican-American or poor white people or black people, and they feel sort of, they don't want to be around them. And how do they square that circle is that in Mark Zuckerberg, you build a big fence around your home, and then you rail at people for being racist for not wanting open borders.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, and this water usage script law that's coming into effect in California too, to protect against climate change. This is remarkable. I want people to believe that the Silicon Valley CEOs in Mountain View are going to buy this. Starting in 2022, California will limit water to 55 gallons per person per day. By 2030, that amount falls to 50 gallons. Just to give you a perspective, how much water is that? 1 8-minute shower is 17 gallons. One load of laundry can be up to 40 gallons. That's enough to exceed the limit. 1 8-minute shower, one load of laundry. And you're telling me that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of them are going to be abiding?
Oh my gosh,
this
probably
law?
I can tell you for a fact, if you go to Woodside or Portola Valley or areas in the L.A. Hills, people have private wells. Not everybody can have a private well because there's not enough aquifer. But most importantly is that this state allowed 55 million acre feet. That's the size of 55 huge reservoirs to go out to the Pacific Ocean this last year. And so the problem isn't trying to ration water. The problem is that we inherited this wonderful water project. All we'd have to do is operate it the way it was intended, or just build 3 or 4 more dams at a price of about 1/10 of high-speed rail, and we would have enough water for everybody. Because the northern part of the state and the Sierra Nevada are very wet. That's where 80% of the precipitation and snow falls. But 80% of the people don't live there. So our grandfathers developed this brilliant idea of the California Aqueduct and 28 huge dams, and it works really well, but not if you take the water out of the dam and you send it out to the Pacific Ocean and the Sacramento and San Joaquin rivers. It was never intended to do that.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
And they're doing it because they like the idea of white water, and they want to see if they can reintroduce salmon, and they think that it'll smelt in the Delta and need some more fresh water. But they're destroying the lives of millions of people, and they're waking up to this. And this guy named John Cox, that you guys know better than we do, he just has 30-second ads, water, I'll get it to you. Borders.
Really?
I mean, it's redundant. It's reductions. He just says, illegal aliens, got to go home. Sanctuary cities, end them. And it's John Cox. And he's just been all over the news like that. And people are saying, wow, This guy cuts through all this talk and just gets down to it.
So wait,
I love it.
how?
That's
So
great.
really, did you vote for John Cox?
I did, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so he's
Yeah,
being received well and warmly in California, huh?
Well, I don't know if anybody knows anything about him. I don't know. I met him once, but I don't know much about him other than the fact is that he's not Gavin Newsom, and that's his appeal to people. And he's not one of the Republican sort of Rockefeller, that's an archaic term, maybe a Romney Republican that finds 1,000 different ways to not be conservative. And he doesn't seem, I don't know if he's conservative or not, but when he comes across, the ads are as much aimed at the namby-pamby Republican Party as they are at the lunatic left.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It also speaks to what's happening in the Republican Party here, that there was no traction to be had during his several runs for office in the first decade of this century. But, I mean, just the water explanation you provided, this is kind of stuff that Orwell would have had a difficult time dreaming up. And there's another example of this. And the reason I spend so much time in California, because if it's a bad idea in California or New York, you know it's going to be imported to Illinois at some point. This a story in the Wall Street Journal last week about squatters' rights in California, where you had a small-time landlord who was a landscaper professionally and had a rental property, and he totally got jammed by the squatters' rights in California, where somebody just basically broke into his house and took up residency there, and then gets financed by the state to stay there. He gets through the Sargent Shriver Civil Counsel Act provides civil representation for individuals like squatters to fight illegitimate tenancy against a landlord like Mr. Lopez. It's just a remarkable case, and then it's a remarkable law.
And behind that is the reality that you have this ultra 1%. Remember, these companies, Apple, Google, Facebook, have over $3 trillion in capitalization. The civilization's never seen so much money in such a confined space. So, we have hundreds of thousands of millionaires in the Bay Area and the LA area, and they buy these beautiful big homes, and they put gates around them. They put their kids in private school, and then they give money to politicians that pass these laws that destroy the middle class, which they despise because it doesn't have the romance of the poor or the privilege or the culture of the elite. And then they try to feel good by helping homeless people or allowing homelessness to be all over Market Street in San Francisco or whatever, but they have ways to navigate around it. But the middle class guy who tries to have a rental, or he's got a middle class home and he wants to put a solar panel on it, he can't afford this huge electric bill he's getting, then they go after him and they regulate him and they fine him and they make life miserable. And 4 million in the last 18, 20 years have left of the middle class. And that's the demography of California. Middle class leaves, illegal aliens and people on welfare come in, and wealthy people get richer and richer from a globalized high-tech economy.
Yeah, that sounds very well. Illinois is sort of a junior version of that. And, yeah, of course, the challenge is, and I wonder if you're seeing this as well, is the worse that the political ruling class makes it, the better it gets for them, because the productive people who are sensible, commonsensical, they bolt. And so your margin for error shrinks because you don't have a population that can get you to 50% plus one through, with common sense proposals.
I think that's right, except something that can't go on, as Milton Friedman used to say, won't go on. And so where I live, it's 90% Hispanic, and I'm in the San Joaquin Valley, and I commute to Stanford, but it's 90 degrees yesterday, and people cannot afford to turn on their air conditioners, highest power rates in the United States. So Hispanic people go to Walmart, and they sit there all day to use the free air conditioning while they can't afford to turn their apartment air conditioning on. And they travel these decrepit roads, and they pay $4 for gas a gallon because of the tax and the special California blend. And then they see these Stonehenge half-finished overpasses for high-speed rail. And they ask you, and they talk among themselves. And they said, you know what? What's going on in this state? I can't afford power. I can't afford gas. I don't want high-speed rail. I want a good road. I can't afford housing. Who's doing this? And then you explain, and they tell you, I'm not trying to stigmatize them, but people say in general, well, I don't really want open borders. I don't want illegal aliens coming in. They ruin my school. They make my community dangerous. So I want legal, measured, and diverse immigration. And the elite doesn't quite get it. And so that's why I think Cox did well, because the subtext of that, there was probably a lot of middle-class Hispanic people that didn't tell anybody, and in Trump fashion went in and voted for him, because he got over twice the votes as Villa de Rosa did, and who really campaigned on being a Latino.
Right.
So I think there's something going on. I think we're 4 or 5 years away from electing a guy like Cox. It reminds me of Pat Brown, 1960, 6 years before Reagan shocked everybody and won.
Interesting. Yeah, well, so enough Democrats get mugged by reality. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for here as well. He's Victor Davis Hanson, National Review columnist, senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, and author of his latest book is The Second World Wars, How the First Global Conflict Was Fought and Won. VDH, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You know the expression out of sight, out of mind? Well, that pretty much describes the roof on your house. Sure, you can see it from the ground and things may look okay, but you probably don't really know what's going on up there. After the long winter, this is a great time to have your roof professionally inspected by New Life Property Restoration. They'll let you know the condition of your roof and how long you can expect it to last. Here's the best part. This is a complimentary evaluation, valued at $250. And for every inspection estimate New Life Property Restoration performs this year, a donation will be made to the Roof for a Vet project to help vets with homes in need of roof repair. With so many choices in the roofing industry, who can you trust? Consider a family and veteran-owned company that's willing to invest in you before they ask you to invest in them with a free inspection of your roof. Consider New Life Property Restoration and their 20-point inspection. Find them at newlifepropertyrestorations.com or 224-220-1444.
Gentlemen, June is Men's Health Month. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy. You'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify your insurance for you. Low T Center's physicians have been exclusively diagnosing and treating men for low testosterone for years. And in honor of Men's Health Month, Low T Center is offering a special testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. Take advantage of this offer, especially if you haven't met your deductible yet, or have a high copay, or simply don't have insurance. If you've noticed a decline in energy or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. The number again, 312-239-3427. Or go to lowtcenter.com for more information. That's lowtcenter.com.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
So, you're a truck driver, a clutch cowboy, a wrangler of the road. At Ozinga, you are exactly who we need. Concrete truck drivers. People who aren't afraid of a little adventure and hard work. If you're tired of monotony and are looking to build something that matters, then come build with us. At Ozinga, we are building our families, our communities, and our country. Apply online today at ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that